73.
71 was the Bucks. But
yeah, that's right.
I
no
mean,
one cares about that era.
It's too long ago anyway. Who cares?
just because the Knicks team previously won a title doesn't mean that it's better than this Knicks team, right?
Interesting comment.
Right?
Coming from
Is this the best? Is this the best Knicks season since Patrick Ewing in 94?
They were actually better in 93.
The best player from a Knick? Is that what you're, like the best?
Is this the best season from a Knick since Ewing, the 94? So 93, 94.
Are you talking about Karl Anthony Towns?
Yes.
Actually, Ewing was better in 92 than he was in 94.
Yeah, but 94 is more recent.
Sure, 94 is more recent. Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I'm saying
I saw Jalen Brunson last season. So
if Karl Anthony Towns is having a better team, a better season than Patrick Ewing had in the early 90s, and you're still giving me pushback on whether or not he's better than Wemby, I'm just confused right now.
Well, Wemby's better than any Knick that's existed post. Well, no, let me say that all due respect to Carmelo, who obviously I'm probably higher on than anybody up here. Well, at least if you're a hooper, you're high on him. If you're not, and you're just a chair merchant, then
Swiper, where we going with this? Are you Swiper, where we going with this? Come on,
I don't know.
The chair merchant.
I'm not. I don't know if Chill might be a chair merchant, but I know Mars is for sure. I think Ox is too, disrespectfully. He thinks Paul Pierce is better than Melo. But I would say that, like, forget Wemby. I think Karl Anthony Towns is probably having the best Knicks season. I mean, I think Jalen Brunson's up there. I think Jalen Brunson's season last year is better than Melo's in 2012-13. But if I'm going all the way back to Patrick, then, you said 92. I think 94. I said this might be the best Knicks season in 30 years. 30 years total.
Considering what Cat is doing. And we literally just had this conversation, Big Ox, when we was talking about Wemby being better than Cat. And I don't think that it was clarified that there's a difference between being better than somebody and playing better. Those two things are not the same. Okay, let's get to the bottom of that right now. All right. So
yeah, but Chill, we've talked about that too, Chill. And like I feel like when we do that, it's a big cop out too. It's a big cop out. I understand what you mean. Like, yeah, you can be better than somebody and not play for somebody. But if I'm sitting here playing better than you and playing better than you and playing better than you, at what point are we just gonna stop the nonsense? Like, I'm better than you.
Well, wait a minute, Ox, you can outplay somebody and not be better than them.
Yeah, for a day.
Even for a season, that could happen. You can outplay a guy for a series. You can outplay a guy for a season.
For a series, for the season,
for a series, for a season.
I think you were better that season.
That season, right? That doesn't necessarily make you a better player.
What I'm saying, Chill, is if last year, Chill, if you've been better than me in this whole season, I'm just outplaying you. I'm dogging you all season. I am better than you. Now, next season, you're gonna have to come back and show me something. Until you do, I'm better than you.
100%, I can get with that logic. But Ox, if you're gonna say that, then you got to say the same thing with me dogging you last season and the season before that.
Yeah, you were better than me. You were better than me, but now I'm better.
I was, and now how do you become better than me when you just outplay me this one season? This is why I always talk about Ox.
That's 82 games. That's a whole year.
Right, 1 year. So the previous 4 or 5 years when I've been better than you, and then this one season where you outplayed me, and it's consensus, by the way.
We don't live in the past. We're not living in the past. So
now we don't live in the past. We're only going off of what's right now. There's a reason why they hang banners, Ox. There's a reason why they give league MVPs. There's a reason why they give defensive players of the year, because this stuff matters. What you did in the past matters. You have to get better.
We can give you the banner of used to be better than me. That's what we'll do.
Exactly. You were better than me.
Right. I was better than you. But if you surpass me, does that mean that you're better than me now, or you just playing better than me?
I'm better than you.
Well, I think Ox is saying I'm better than you until you prove otherwise. I think that's what Ox is saying.
Even though I've proved over the years,
and back then you were better than me, and that's fine. So like,
I got better. You can't.
The example I would use.
You got to give me credit for getting better.
Chris Paul was the best point guard in the league before Steph Curry ascended, and then 2015 happens. And Steph Curry was better than Chris Paul that year.
Right.
by your logic, you would say Steph Curry didn't become better than Chris Paul until the following season, or maybe even later than that. By Ox's logic, he's saying 2015 came, Steph was better than Chris Paul. I think that's where the disagreement is coming.
And
You're
if
saying Steph has to do it for longer to prove it, and he's saying he did it that season, and Chris Paul never took it back, so he's been the best.
Now that's different. That part right there is different. If you outplayed me in that season and then you continuously did it, that's completely different than that 1 year you outplayed me, but then I ended up coming back and I was right back to where I was.
That means you
I
can
think
only say
how
someone's better than
long
someone
do I
in
gotta
hindsight.
outplay you? How long do I gotta outplay you for me to be better?
If
Like, how
I'm
many
if I'm
seasons
if
do I
I've
gotta
out,
do this?
well, you got to do it more than one, because if I've done it more than one, you definitely have to do it more than one. If we've been doing this for the last 3-4 years, and in this one season you outplayed me, and then the next season after that I outplayed you, wait a minute, that's not the way that works. No way.
It is where it works. I got better.
Yeah, and guess what? So did I.
So I gotta be better. I gotta be better than you for an equal amount of time than you were better than me.
You can't just jump me after one season after I've been playing better than you for all of these years.
But that means,
and on top of that,
that means you can only say someone's better than someone in hindsight.
no, I can't say that. No, and the reason why you can't say that they're better in hindsight, Mars, is because after that, so to Ox's point, even to your point, when you're talking about Steph Curry, if you are better than me that one season in 15, then Curry was better than him in 16, and then he was better than him in 17. Okay, now you are absolutely. But if you're better than me at that one season, and then after that, I'm still better than you because I'm playing better than you, and I'm still better than you.
So going into the 2015-16 season, so we've time traveled now. The Warriors have just won the championship. The Cavs were injured. Blah blah blah. We're in that off season. That's where we are right now.
It's 20.
We're
going into
the 15-16.
The Warriors just won the NBA championship. I'm with you.
And we're on the panel, so the panel exists. And I ask you, Chill, who's the best point guard in the league? What's your answer?
I still think it's Chris Paul. I think Curry outplayed him. I still think it's Chris Paul.
This is after Curry's MVP season.
Yeah,
yes,
and
they won the NBA championship. Now the next year in the 15-16 season, but no, let's stay right here, Moss. Let's stay right here in the 15-16 season. We're just going into that. I don't know that what Curry did is a fluke. I don't know that. I don't know if Curry can continue that. The reason why we talk about these players the way we talk about them being great is because it's sustained. You don't jump me in one season and then you're just like this. No,
I think it has a lot to do with like how he's like playing that season. So if let's say it's not going to be one jump, okay, let's look at how he got better. Are these things that we kind of seen tiny progressions in throughout his career, and now he's just all putting that together? I think we can look at that and say, okay, now he's better. Unless it's like a fluke run or like he has like a 40% three-point shooting season out of nowhere and he's usually like a 30% three-point shooter, then we'll say maybe this is just a hot streak. But let's say in that 2015 season, Steph has always been a great shooter. Now he's just getting better looks. Now he has a better coach. Now he has a better system aligned. I think you can look at that and say, okay, there's no reason for me to think that he's just going to regress out of nowhere. I think once you see that he's putting all of that together, that's enough to be like, okay, he may be better, because I don't see a regression from Steph that is going to put him back into the not best point guard in the world conversations.
But there's also the idea of you can see it coming. If Curry, like, for example, Curry was before the year that they won the NBA championship in 15 and he won the league MVP. I mean, he did make the All-Star team previous to that. I think he made the All-Pro team in that 13-14 season. I think he made so the idea was he was on his way. He was coming. Now there wasn't a sizable gap, but there still was a gap between him and Chris Paul. And when Steph Curry did what he did, okay, now we having a real conversation, just like we're doing right now between Joker and Giannis. We're having a serious conversation about who the best player in the world is. Now, if next season, the 15-16 season, if Curry just levels off his play and he doesn't get better, and Chris Paul, who was already better, is playing at this level or even better, I can't put Steph Curry ahead of him. I can't do it. If you only pass me that one season, no, that doesn't work.
Yeah, I get it, but I don't know if it's because what did we like see from CP3 where it's like, oh, he's gonna get substantially better at that point in his career from then. I mean, I think he's still like great in the pick and roll. I still think he leads top tier offenses, but what we saw from Steph, it's like, okay, you're getting the looks, and now you have like the system implemented. And we know how dangerous he was from three, and the way he was able to get open almost effortlessly was amazing. And it's like sometimes I look at him and be like, there's no way where that can't get better, especially just having the playoff run added now, the championship. I don't know. I think if you're seeing somebody get better at stuff that you've seen them grow at over the past few years, and now it's like they've put it all together, for me, it would be no reason to think that that's just going to fall off, especially if we've seen tiny bits of growth throughout the entire point of his career.
But John, I don't think that's what we're talking about here, because what you're telling me is that that he's on his way and it's happening, and we see it and we see it in real time, as opposed to a one-off. If you were better than me that 1 year, you have to sustain that. In order
Chill, you don't know it's a one-off until you know it's a one-off, though. That's kind of like what Mars was saying. Like, you don't know what it is till hindsight.
That's what I'm saying.
Like we didn't know when Shea averaged 30 that it was gonna be a one-off. We could have suspected it. We could have said, oh, Shea just had a lucky season and he averaged 30, and now
then he did it again.
3 years later, bang, 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 he's averaging 30 again. So now, did it take us all 3 years to realize that Shea was better than Jalen Brunson or whoever else was top 5 at that time?
And let me ask you follow.
Let me have to wait 3 years, or could we just see when he first averaged 30 that he was better?
You've seen SGA now 3 straight years. He's going to be first team All NBA. 3 straight years he's going to be top 4 in MVP voting. I'll say based on where he is right now, the worst he finishes in MVP voting is 2 this year. 2.
Sure.
So that's 3 years of data, and I guess I'm trying to figure out what will Shea have to do in your brain then to be solidified as a top 3 minimal player in the league if he is going to have another third year, like a third straight year of like legitimate high-end MVP level play.
What is he
like? What else would you need to be able to put him in that cover? Because that's not just a one-off now. It's not just 2 years, but it's going to be a third straight year that he's done that.
I think he's got to show it in the postseason.
So more than what he did last year versus the Mavericks.
Yes, more than what he did last year in the postseason. Because when we talk about those great players, we talk about Jokic, we talk about Giannis, we talk about these great players in the postseason. They go deep into the postseason and they show you how busy that they can get, and they do it for a sustained period of time when the lights get brighter. So, is it for me to say that SGA isn't of that caliber? No, it's not yet. Off the strength that I haven't seen him do it. I haven't seen him do it going deep into the postseason. I have seen him do it in the postseason, but if we're talking about the best player in the league, the second best player in the league, top 3 player in the league, top 5 player in the league, I have to see it more in the postseason, deeper runs, in order for me to go, all right, this is legit.
What year did you have Jokic in top 5? Like when you first put him in there?
I thought he was on his way. I thought he was on his way after the bubble when they won the Western Conference Championship.
Till 20.
Yeah, I thought he was on his way.
On his way, I'm saying he was solidified top 5 for you.
He wasn't. I just felt like he was on his way. After that second league MVP, I felt like yes.
The second one?
Yes.
So it took an MVP. So before that he had a 1 playoff run in 19 that went to the second round, 2 game 7 series.
Sure.
And then he went to the Western Conference Finals.
Sure.
And then he went to the second round again. So that's
2, got swept
5,
out the playoffs. 7 rounds of playoffs. And then you're saying after the second MVP, when he had 8 rounds of playoff experience, that's when you put him in the top 5. I thought he was solidified. I thought he was legit as a top 5 player. And on top of that, I felt like he was in the conversation of being the best player in the world. Like he was already in the top 8. He was already.
No,
a lot of dudes were still balling. Swipe, like to
Leonard was balling. James Harden was balling. KD was balling. James. It wasn't a wash. That was going on.
Those were still getting going.
Well, but Ox, I guess what I'm saying is, if it took 8 playoff series, Shea is going to be at 3 by the first round, 4 by the second round, 5 if he gets to the conference finals, and then 6 if he gets to the NBA finals.
We can't just count playoff series though, Swiper. We got.
Well, that's what he said. That's what he said.
That's what I'm talking about.
But we're talking about. You said when is it solidified as a top 5 player, and if we got 8, 9 dudes that are playing at a superstar level, I can't just count playoff series and say, well, he's got these playoff series under his belt when it's a bunch of dudes that got. I mean, at that point, how many playoff series did Steph, James Harden, Kawhi?
Well, Steph didn't have any in 21.
LeBron?
I think what he's referencing is like, I guess I'm referencing a time period. I agree. LeBron, Steph, Durant, like even Kawhi. But Kawhi and Jokic played head-to-head in 20, and then Kawhi got outplayed in 20, and then I had a.
You're telling me Jokic was better than Kawhi in 2020?
No,
after the end of the 20 years, after the end of 20.
Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what he's saying. He did get outplayed though. Joker outplayed.
He did. That's a fact. Like that wasn't.
I don't know. He wasn't a better player. I think that's what he was implying to.
No, but he scored. Kawhi scored 4 points in the back-to-back 4 quarters. Like.
Real quick, before we do go too deep in the Jokic Glaze Fest, I do want to point out. I don't know if I'm late to this. Or if anybody has seen this. But they did confirm that Jaden Ivey broke his fibula, though.
Yeah, his
dudes got to stop fucking diving on the ball when other guys are there. That shit is trash, bro. That is trash. That is garbage, bro. I'm not saying he intentionally did it, and I'm not saying that he's like. Yes, he's wrong for it, but I'm not saying he had malicious intent. But bro, come on, y'all got to stop doing that, bro. That is disgusting. That's disgusting.
I get on the ground.
No, that's disgusting. Okay, but don't dive at people's knees, though.
But we literally did dive drills in practice, like in high school and college, though. That's what I'm confused about.
That's what those dive drills were. Those dive drills was the ball going out of bounds.
It's in the middle of the court, like that.
Even if the ball's in the middle of the court, there's nobody around. Those two things.
I ain't gonna lie, I was going for it.
You're not supposed to go for the ball. If the ball's on the ground, you have to get on the ground. You're not supposed to be reaching down like that. You have to
when the ball's under him. What are you supposed to just jump and belly flop on the ball? The ball's under him. He's reaching down to grab the ball. If the ball's under somebody's feet, don't dive at somebody. Like even in football, that's a nasty, malicious play. You don't just dive at people's knees.
You can't
diving at somebody's knee. That's malicious.
Dive at the knee if you don't for the ball. You can't just.
And where was the ball at? And where was the ball at?
The ball was not even close to him. Like he literally saw the ball.
And then he had his hands on the ball. How's the ball not close to him? And he has his hands on the ball.
He dove at his leg.
Remember on that very play, the ball was like I would say at least 3 feet from him. He dove through to the ball. And again, I think the issue is the helicopter legs. That's the same thing we talk about in the NFL. The dangerous part is the helicopter legs. When you swing, when your body swings momentum in one direction, and then you're gonna accidentally take out somebody else's leg. So again, it's completely unfortunate. I just don't want to like paint Cole Anthony in that instance as like not even malicious, but like
as a dirty player.
No, but chill. It was a competitive play. Like I just watched Russ do the same thing last night. Like I've seen multiple players dive for basketball to try to maintain possession of the ball.
Sure.
So it happens often. It just you don't get a chance to see injuries like this. And Cole doesn't have a history of doing stuff like that either, Chill. So like that's what I'm saying. Like I think it's a mix of both.
You can't stop people from making hustle plays. You can't tell people you can't dive at football.
And it's going to be so hard.
If something happens and someone gets hurt, like you can't just say, "Well, get it out the game." Like, because I mean, you run the risk of getting hurt in any sport. Like, it's very unfortunate what happened to Jaden Ivey. But then if you say, "Oh, someone got hurt," so now diving on the floor when there's 2 people challenging for the ball, now we just can't do that anymore. It's like, at what point is like you can get hurt doing anything? At what point is like, can't set screens no more because if you catch someone unaware, there's a concussion risk. Like,
yeah, but there's also certain ways you're supposed to set screens. You don't set screens like this with your elbow out.
You run the risk of getting hurt, and it's very unfortunate when it happens, especially when it's a major injury. But if every time someone gets hurt, we have to start looking at changing the way we can play the game, it's like
imagine
how can you say the game is soft and then someone gets hurt hustling, you're like, well, stop hustling. Like, it's like
I'm not saying stop hustling. I'm just saying it's certain. Like you got to use your judgment sometimes. I just thought that was a bad judgment. Once again, I'm not saying that Cole Anthony's a bad player or a nasty player, dirty player. I'm not saying that he intended to break his leg, But I'm saying, like, in Swiper, you just brought up Russ. What happened to Russ when we all got mad at Patrick Beverly when he dove at the ball and took Russ out?
That was out of bounds.
Everybody was mad. Do you guys not remember that moment in time? Everybody was mad at Patrick Beverly. Patrick Beverly was getting slandered.
No. Time out. Because I want you to.
I don't think Patrick Beverly deserved that slander.
They call it was Russ was headed to call a timeout.
He was calling a timeout
by the sideline.
And what did he do?
No, but I'm
saying, what did Patrick Beverly do?
Trying to call a timeout. Patrick Beverly, you play to the whistle. You think I'm just gonna let
sorry.
this walk
That's
to the
a
sideline?
completely different scenario.
It is Swiper, but what did Patrick Beverly do? What did he do though?
He tried to steal the ball.
He dove at his knee. That's the point that I'm trying to make. Diving at somebody's knee is nasty in basketball. It's just nasty. We're not trying to. You're not trying to tackle nobody. You're not trying to bring nobody to the ground.
Up that scenario is wildly different when you. That's an NBA known thing that if I go to the sideline and I'm getting ready and I grab the ball to call a timeout, it's dead. Like the play's over. This was in the middle of the floor. Like I think a better example is Solomon Hill, LeBron James. That was one.
Yeah, like Russell, like. The Pat Bev one is a false. Like Russ had control of the ball, and Pat just dove to try get it away from him.
Right.
This one is a loose ball that two players went for, and a very unfortunate circumstance happened. And yes, you could say Jaden Ivey was more than likely going to get the ball, and Cole Anthony didn't really have a shot again. But an athlete sees the ball's loose and he goes after it. Like I'm not mad at the athlete for going after the ball. Like it's very unfortunate what happened to Jaden Ivey, but that's not his fault, in my opinion. Could he have been more under control? Sure, but when you leave the floor, it's like you're not really under control anyway. But there's a reason why people dive for a loose ball is to try and give themselves a chance to get the ball. The Patrick Beverly situation is not the same. Russ was dribbling the ball.
I'm not saying the situation is the same. I'm making a comparison of diving at people. I'm making a comparison of diving at somebody's knee. When you dive at somebody's knee, you run the risk of them tearing something, breaking something. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Patrick Beverly was legitimately I don't agree with what Ox is saying. Patrick Beverly was legitimately a dirty play where he dove in a situation where someone had control of the ball. They were dribbling the ball up the floor. This one is there's a loose ball, no one has control of it, and someone dives.
I understand that.
And ends up hitting someone's leg. That's what I'm saying. They're not comparable.
I'm not comparing the plays. I'm comparing the results, and I'm comparing what the action of what the person did. We could run to a bunch of different plays of people diving at people's knees and stuff like that. That was just the most glaring one, so I brought that one up. The point I'm trying to make is when you dive for the ball, or when you go low like that, you run the risk of somebody hurting themselves in an extreme season-ending injury. And I just don't think that's. I can't say that it's not a basketball play that Cole Anthony made, but I just think it's a nasty basketball play, and I think it was completely unnecessary. I think he could have used his judgment and not dove after the ball right there.
I agree. You diving for the ball anytime your whole body is off the floor, you run the risk of doing some damage to yourself or to other people because you don't have control of where you're going. That's fine. I understand that. I would then ask you, do you feel the same way about taking charges?
Because we've seen guys get hurt when guys take charges.
Are you diving at somebody's knee taking a charge?
Look, and the example I would point to is Giannis got hurt in the postseason because someone took a charge on him going to the rim.
Are you diving at somebody's knee taking a charge? Okay, no, because you just tried to out me by saying, oh, those are completely different scenarios. This is East Coast, West Coast, North Pole, South Pole. This is completely different. Taking a charge and diving at somebody's knee is not even in the same vicinity. It's not even in the same world.
The comparison I'm making is because when you take a charge, usually someone's taken off. They're in the air. They now no longer have control of where their body is going.
Well, that's sliding.
Where they land, they have no control. And someone is actively sliding underneath them while they are in the air and disrupting their landing. Do you view that as a reckless play because now someone no longer has control of where
that's borderline undercutting, Mars? That's
which is illegal,
that's why I'm asking. Because the example I would point to is the Kevin Love on Giannis situation.
Yes.
Do you view that as unnecessary on a basketball court?
So hold on. So I got it mixed up. If we're just talking about,
keep going, Ron. But just so you know, Mars.
People getting mad at me for that comparison.
No. Just so you know, Mars, and I want you to keep going, Ron. But really quickly, Mars, just so you know, that sliding under somebody when they're in the air now, that's illegal. You can't do that anymore.
That's crazy.
But go ahead, Ron.
So taking a charge. So when you first said it, I'm just thinking just taking a charge, and really taking a charge. The person dribbling initiates the contact for the most part. So that's more so on the ball handler. But if you're talking about somebody sliding under somebody, yes, that's damn near even nastier than diving at somebody's knee. That's disgusting.
Ron, you keep saying diving at somebody's knee. Like I understand, but he was clearly going for the ball.
No, I get that. But here's what you also got to understand. When you dive on the ground, what's that low? Ankles and knees.
The ball.
Ankles, knees, and okay. And the ball's not worth somebody risking their whole season in their career.
I ain't thinking about
I'm telling you, it's not. I'm telling you, it's not okay. But that's why I'm bringing this up. So we can all be conscious of it.
I don't.
And basketball players
I just want
too.
to ask for clarity.
You don't want a team of players that are thinking whether or not to go for loose balls.
No.
When that ball is loose, that's the most important thing in the world. I'm going to get that ball.
Get the ball.
Yeah.
I
get that.
I'm not thinking about hurting nobody. I'm not trying to break nobody's tibia, fibia, femur, knees, anything. I'm going to get that basketball. If you come to get this basketball, you better get on the ground because that's where I'm going to be. And if you get hurt, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. I'm going to send you some flowers. You know what I'm saying?
But that's part of the game.
I might buy you something.
Let me relook at this play.
I don't like it.
Yeah, look at the play.
If you are bending over, I just want you to picture this, and I might be wrong. I might need to go back and reanalyze it. If you are bending over, grabbing the ball, and I know it wasn't exactly like this.
It was like that, Ron. That's exactly
okay. So me and Chill both think it was like this. But if you are bending over, grabbing the ball, literally the ball's right under you, and you're you are 6'8". You're bending over, grabbing the ball, and I dive for the ball and crash into your legs and take you out.
Ron, and that's why I've told you this before. I was taught very young. To not do that. If there's a loose ball and it's there, you have to get on the ground. You cannot bend over.
If the ball's under you, you can't get on the ball.
The ball is not. Are you going to? I'm watching the play right now. It's nowhere. He's nowhere near the ball. It was a long rebound. What are you talking about?
I watched the play a bunch of times, Ron.
And I'm about to pull it up, and we are going to watch it right here on the panel.
Wait, okay, Ron, but wait. If the ball is under Jaden Ivey, then he should have control of the ball. If it's under me, I can bend over and grab the ball.
So what if you are in the process of bending over and grabbing the ball? What if you just get your hands on the ball and
you're right next to each other?
Hold on, Swiper. The ball is live.
The ball is live. The ball is live, and they're right next to each other.
Either way, it's part of the game.
It is, but hold on.
I'm not saying it's part of the game. It's parts of the game that are bad. It's parts of making money that are bad. It's parts of podcasting that are bad.
Answer the question directly. You're saying no more diving in basketball.
I'm not saying no more diving. I'm just saying it's certain scenarios where you have to exercise your judgment and make better decisions.
There's nothing more important than that basketball. When it's a loose ball,
there's nothing more. There's nothing more important than somebody's career. There's nothing more important than taking out another black man's season. There's nothing more important than maliciously injuring somebody. That's more important than that fucking ball. That's one possession. Hey, Cole Anthony would have been all right. That's one possession. Now this boy got to miss the rest of his season. Now this boy risked the chance of not being able to play for the rest of his career. Jaden Ivey got a promising career ahead of him.
He could have risked that every other game after this, though.
But he could have risked that on his own merit. He could have missed that on his own merit. And I understand, like, you play sports and anything can happen. I understand that. I understand Jaden Ivey he could have got the ball, came through the lane, and took off, and his knee could have just buckled. I understand that. But it's not the same. It's just not.
You don't want to chase down blacks.
No, I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't even dive for balls. Hey, that's the type of player I am. I'm a dive. Ox, I'm a dive for a loose ball.
That's what I'm so confused.
I'm a dive for a loose ball. I'm a dive. I'm gonna run out of bounds. I'm gonna do all of this.
I've seen you make that same play Cole Anthony made hundreds of times. So
but not through anybody's knees. That's the point I'm trying to make. I've never dove through somebody's knees, and I never would do that.
He didn't dive for his knees, Ron. Please stop using that language.
I know he didn't dive for his knees, but like I said, when you dive on the ground, you gotta understand that there's knees and there's ankles there. That's just like if I'm driving through a intersection if I'm driving through an intersection, I know I have to be conscientious because there could be somebody crossing the street, even though they shouldn't be crossing the street. They might be crossing the street. It might be somebody that takes an illegal left turn. Me and Ox, that is a good example. You got to know where you got to. If I'm driving through an intersection,
we're both agreeing that we're both going to do whatever we can to get the basketball.
And Swiper, when you're driving, there's certain rules when you're driving that you shouldn't do. If I'm driving through an intersection, the other car has to yield to me, right? Me and Ox have been in a car together when I'm driving in a car that should not have turned left, drove into the intersection and just cut me off, and I ended up hitting them. Well, they hit me, but technically I hit them. They should not have turned. What?
And you didn't do nothing wrong. You was just driving. Just like Cole Anthony didn't do anything wrong. He was just going after a hustle play. Like, you got to think about where his mind is too. My two best players are gone. We have, we're trying to stay afloat. I'm going after every loose ball. That's crazy.
How the Magic team have been all year.
That's crazy.
That's how they've been. They just been diving at people's knees all year.
They've been.
That's them. That's their identity.
Yo, play the video.
We praise this stuff every day.
If injuries bother you, look away. I guess.
Yeah, man, this was terrible. This was.
Yeah, so it's not a nice sight. So if injuries bother you, look away for like the next 12 seconds.
I think I'm when I
first saw it, it looked like Jaden Ivey was just bending down to get the ball.
You know what Jaden Ivey was thinking? Stop playing it, bro. Stop playing it.
We're not gonna watch that no more.
It's an unfortunate situation. It's very and I hope Jaden Ivey recovers because he was having his best season of his career, and it's unfortunate that someone's season can end like this.
Yeah.
But acting as if it's anything more than an unfortunate situation, I think, is where like we have this whole discussion. It's an unfortunate situation. That's what it is.
That is it.
Still think it's nasty, but hey, prayers up to Jaden Ivey. I hope you get back soon, and I hope this doesn't happen to anybody else this season or ever. But y'all, let's get back to the title of the show. I want to encourage everybody out there to like the video. Shout out to all of our new subscribers. And if you're not a member yet, become a member. And if you're curious as to what tier you should join, I advise you to join that Hall of Fame tier. Be a top tier guy. But here we go, y'all. The New York Knicks are off to a stellar start to this season. They are 24-10. They are one of the best teams in the East, one of the best teams in the NBA, top 5 record in the NBA. And so I want to go back to, before we get into the Knicks, I want to go back to this whole Karl Anthony Towns thing. So, because Swiper brought up a good point. He said, is Karl Anthony Towns having the best season for a Knick in the last 30 years? And I'm running a poll. Karl Anthony Towns got 21% of the votes. Jalen Brunson last season has 24% of the votes. Carmelo Anthony, 2012-2013, has 28% of the votes. And Patrick Ewing in 1999 also has 28% of the votes. So I got to ask everybody up here, who do you guys have as the best Knick in the last 30 years?
Allen Houston.
Not even on the list. Not even on the list. Pat 94.
I got Eddie Curry, so.
Who?
Eddie Curry, 2007.
Okay. Oh, you're trolling again.
Sorry that I was watching Knicks basketball.
No, that you were watching Eddie Curry. Let's see.
Yes,
here.
I was. He was averaging 20. Thank you.
Let's see here.
Well,
Chill, you're the elder statesman. Even though apparently you said something about Charles Barkley the other day that I missed. Apparently people were.
No, we're not rehashing that. We're not rehashing that.
Yesterday,
Mars, did you agree with them or did you disagree?
Did I agree?
What was that? I missed that episode.
Nah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It was a bad start to 2025. That's all it was. We move on.
In that 94 season is I think we going off of them making the NBA Finals that year and not realizing that Knicks team was a lot better. I don't think that was Ewing's best season, so I'm gonna take Ewing out of that in 94. What Carmelo Anthony did in 2013, we led the league in scoring. I think he finished second in league MVP votes that year.
28,
yeah,
8 and 4.1 roughly.
Yeah, he led the league in scoring that year. They finished second and he finished second in league MVP votes that year. Everybody thought that James should have won the league MVP unanimously.
Remember, the only person that voted for him was the New York Knicks media person.
I mean, they had won 54. They had won 54 games that year with them winning with them winning 54 games with what Carmelo Anthony did. I mean, I'm going to say Carmelo Anthony in 12-13
over the Ewing year. I'm actually shocked on that from you. Yeah, okay.
Yes, because I thought Ewing was better in 92 than he was in 94.
Well, Ewing was still great that year, though.
He was awesome that year, but I think he was better.
Not being the best Ewing doesn't mean he's not better than Cat.
Fact. I won't argue that part. That part I won't argue neither. But we're talking about who was better than Cat, and I think Carmelo Anthony was. I'm not saying that Ewing wasn't better than Cat. I just think Carmelo Anthony was the best at that time.
So you think 2013 Melo is better than 94 Ewing?
Yes, I do.
Interesting.
Yes.
Shout out to Melo.
Considering what he did. Now 92 Ewing, no. But 94 Ewing, I mean, we don't talk about the fact that, I mean, that Knicks team in 94, I think they had 3 All-Stars. I think Starks made the All-Star team that year. Ewing made the All-Star team that year. I want to say Charles Oakley made the All-Star team that year too. I don't think he did. I'm not sure, because I know he made the All-Star team in 89, but I think he made the All-Star team in 94 too. I'm not sure.
It was Charles Oakley, John Starks, and Ewing.
Yes, they had a damn good team that year, as opposed to 92, where Ewing threw that crew on his back. Ewing, I think, finished 3rd in the league that year.
Yeah, I don't want to take away from Ewing. Ewing was legitimately great that year, though. He was a top 5 MVP candidate.
He was fantastic. I think to Mars's point, the best Ewing is that better than what Cat is doing. Well, we haven't seen the rest of Cat. We saw the whole Ewing, and we saw the whole Ewing in 1994. So as of right now, Cat through a third of the season, is he better than Patrick Ewing in 1994's whole season? No, I won't say that, and I definitely don't think he was better than Carmelo Anthony in 2013's entire season. We're only a third through the season. No, so I don't think that.
Yeah. I like I said, I love Allen Houston, but I was, just kind of talking shit. But I'm gonna go ahead and go with.
We know how you feel about Allen Houston. I feel the same way. I do.
But like on a serious note though, like I don't know if this is better than 2010. Because
2010,
my boy was going crazy
he's saying Amari.
Before Melo
just so you know,
this was
Melo
came through. Before Melo came through and slowed down the whole show, Amari was looking like an MVP.
They were saying that was going on. He was in the conversation.
I thought he should have won it that year. I believe he got robbed 2010, but that's okay.
10-11?
No, 9-10.
Robbed by LeBron?
Don't say it like that.
No, I thought Amari was great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was. He was a great player. Amari had that year. And if he didn't have them injury issues, who knows? Who knows, Docs? Who knows?
Man, I wish he would never punch that. What he punched the
fire
extinguisher.
Fire.
Bro, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was dumb. Just no impulse control. That
was a Jaden McDaniels move right there.
That was just stupid.
All right, y'all. So the Knicks are currently on pace to win 58 games. Now, the Knicks have had a lot of 50-win, not a lot of 50-win seasons, but they've had a handful of 50-win seasons, but they've never eclipsed 58. They had 50 wins last season. They went 50-32. Back in 2012, 2013, with Carmelo Anthony, they went 54-28. After that, you got to go all the way to the 99-2000 season where they had 50 wins. Then in 96-97, they had 57 wins. Lost in the Eastern Conference semis. You know how that kind of went.
James Dolan was garbage. Ugh.
93, 94.
That four 50-win seasons in 2000?
Wait, they did have a 60-win season. They had one 60-win season.
They've had 2. They had one in 1970 as well when they won the chip.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
In 70, yeah, so they did have 2 60-win seasons. They had one in 92, 93. They also the next year won 57 games. They went 57-25. And then the following year won 55 games. And then in 88, 89, they won 52. And then you got to go all the way back to the 70s, where in 1970, how Mars mentioned, they won 60 games. Next season won 52. And then in 72, 73, where they won the finals again, they won 57 games.
They were the favorites in 93. Even though the Bulls had won NBA championship in back-to-back seasons, they were the favorites to win it that year. That year they won 60 games.
As they should have been.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they were the favorites that year. Mm-hmm.
So now I have to ask, when you stack up all-time Knicks teams, where does this team rank? And also, can this team break the all-time Knicks record of 60 wins in a regular season?
No, not this year.
I don't think
Cleveland and Boston have something to say about that.
In the regular season?
Yeah, 360 win teams. I mean, it can happen.
Yeah, that's too much. That's too much.
It's possible.
When I would
how is it possible, Mars? If we had Cleveland, Boston, and the Knicks win 60 games, that means that Orlando, the rest of the teams in the Eastern Conference have to be bad.
No, not necessarily. I mean, I'll go back to the 2016 West where you had 73 wins for the Warriors, 67 for the Spurs, and the Thunder won like 57. Like they were 3 games off. Like it's possible. You just take a few extra wins here and there. Like it's possible to have 360 win teams.
So that means that the other teams in the
not
East
probable, but it's possible.
Yeah.
Like it's in the realm of possibility. Now I just don't think they're going to do it, but I don't think they're not going to do it because of Boston and Cleveland. I just think they're probably just going to stagnate a little bit. Mm-hmm. Also, you got to incorporate Mitchell Robinson back in, which can go 2 ways, positively or negatively in terms of fit. And then obviously you got to just hopefully stay healthy as a team as well. We know Tibbs likes to play his guys a lot of minutes, so maybe there's even more of a risk. You never know. So like, there's things that could go wrong, could go right, but I think they're a really good team. I don't know if they're going with 60 though. So I'll say 55-ish.
Do you think they put Cat back at the 4 when Mitchell Robinson comes back, or do you think they have Mitchell Robinson come off the bench? Because I would personally have Mitchell Robinson just come off the bench. I wouldn't move Cat to the 4.
He is going to come off the bench because they got to bring him along slow because he's injury prone. They're not just going to throw him back in the lineup considering it's a foot injury. Yeah, they're definitely going to bring him along slow. And if I'm taking it a step further than that, I think they're going to audition him as we get closer to the trade deadline to see if they can upgrade at the 5 spot. I don't think he's going to be on the crew long term. I'm telling y'all, call up the Trailblazers and ask for Robert Williams.
Replace my injury-prone big with your injury-prone big.
Who's been less injury-prone this season and been much better. So call up the Trailblazers and ask for Robert Williams. They'll hand him over for a bucket of extra crispy and a 6-pack. They'll hand him over.
Rob, you hear that, Rob? Go get that done. Go get that done.
John,
yo,
do you think the Knicks can surpass 60 wins?
Realistically, I don't necessarily think they can pass 60 wins just because I think having 3 60-win teams in the Eastern Conference is pretty tough. But
you guys keep saying 3. All right, so right now, the Cleveland Cavaliers are 29-4. Obviously, they have the best chances.
They're on track for like 600 wins. So yeah.
The Boston Celtics are 24-9. The New York Knicks are 24-10. Who's to say that either of those other teams can't stagnate?
I think Boston and Cleveland, they have the two-way ability better than the Knicks to try and have more of a
Boston.
Yes,
Boston. Yes, Boston. Who can't guard a soul inside the paint? Oh man, I'm so. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have Boston as my favorite too, but man, Joe Mazzulla cracking all them jokes. You need to crack something. Get them playing defense again. That's what he need to do. Anyway, let's go.
I think Boston and Cleveland are more liable to have 60 wins. I think Boston and Cleveland are more liable to have 60 wins than New York, in my opinion. Now, New York does have a hell of an offense, so there are worlds where they can stay in games just that way and mess around and get 60 wins. But I wouldn't count on it. I would say they would go about 57-25, 58-24, around that range. But who knows? It may happen. So I'm not gonna count it out all the way.
Big Ox, New York Knicks, 60+ wins. Go New York, go New York, go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna see
insufferable out there.
If OG stays healthy, I don't see why not.
Facts. If OG stay healthy, fact.
Hey, OG was balling last.
We didn't even bring him up in the best Knicks season.
OG always balling. Come on, man. When he out there, he always looks like the best player on that team, even if he's not.
Mars, to your point, if I'm not mistaken, and it's just coming back to me, I think we might have had 3 60-win teams in the Western Conference in '98. I know the Jazz and the Lakers both were 60-win teams that year that the Jazz beat the Lakers in the West Finals in '98. Did Seattle win 60 games that year?
Oh, we're about to find out.
I think they won 60.
I'm betting 56.
I think they won 60 games that year because I think they won 60 games that year. I'm not sure. Now that I'm thinking about it.
So 1998, it was the Jazz, Seattle, in LA, they all won 61 games or better. The Jazz
61.
were 62.
So it is possible. There we go. It is possible.
What was the rest of the conference?
The Suns were at the 4th seed. They were 56-26. The Spurs were at 5th, 56-26.
Bomb squads in the Western Conference.
Yeah, Portland.
Bomb
Seems
squads
like
out
impossible
there.
to me. Sounds real
Bomb
possible.
Bomb squads out there in the West. 60 wins, 60 wins, 60 wins, 56, 56.
What was the AC? What was the AC?
The 8th seed was, I think, Houston at 41-41.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was
that's not bad.
Yeah, top.
Bomb squads out West.
6 to 7
56 wins in your 4 seasons is crazy.
I think Seattle got bounced in round 1 that year too, if I'm not mistaken.
Sounds about right.
Hey, we still repping. It don't matter.
I don't think they lost. I think they got bounced in round 1. I don't think they lost.
All right, y'all. Well, let's go ahead and get into these super chats. Well, no. We got something better to get into. We got to talk about the good guys over at PrizePicks and how they are giving us an opportunity to win $50 instantly when we play just $5 in promo funds. All you have to do is download the app, use promo code PANEL, and you can run your game, control your game, and win your game. And guys, I know that the season's long, and I know that it can be strenuous and tedious on a day-to-day basis, but you have an opportunity to lighten things up. And you have an opportunity to take all this basketball that you watch on a night-to-night basis. You got a chance to watch all this knowledge that you're soaking in on the panel and put it to good use by choosing your favorite players on your favorite teams with their favorite player projections for that night. And make some good, nice, hardcore cash. All you have to do is select a player, go more or less on their player projections for that night, deposit your money into the app, use promo code PANEL, and you'll be able to take home some nice chunk of change. All right, y'all. This is how we do it, and this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and put this on the screen, and we're going to get to it.
Okay.
Hey, Rob, what's the record now?
So here's what we looking at.
And it would have been efficient.
This is what happened last night, by the way. Chill.
Is Kyrie sold me. That's right.
Chill. Hold on. Who did the Lori marketing? That was Chill?
That was Chill.
Right here.
Okay,
that didn't go well.
So Chill,
he blowing buckets, easy buckets around the ring. He killing me.
I mean, that's the OG effect. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real, Chill.
No, it wasn't.
All right. He went 6 for 22, Chill.
Yeah, 4 for 15 at one point. I was like, what is you doing, B?
OG. That's what happened.
So Chill, you hit one and you missed one. Lori did not get his 24.5 demon pick. And Jamal Murray or Lester went less than 30. So you got that right. You knew Jamal Murray was going to go less. Mars, Jalen Green and Kyrie Irving didn't come through for you.
Nah, Jalen Green held up his end of the bargain. He got like 22. Kyrie the one who want to score 16.
So Mars, you are now 5-9. Chill, you are 5-10. Big Ox, you had DeMontis Sabonis going over 44.5 PRA demon pick.
He was right.
He got 45.
Of course he did. Come on, man. Good line.
Big Ox, you are 6-8. And well, Russell Westbrook.
Russ was just unfortunate. He was going hit.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
They just won by too much. He was going hit.
Oh man. Russell Westbrook was slotted to go 29.5 PRA, and it was a demon pick. And he was well on his way, how Mars said, but the Denver Nuggets just was beating the brakes out of the Atlanta Hawks, and Russell Westbrook got benched basically the whole fourth quarter, and he finished with 29. So, unfortunately, I took an L on that one, but I told y'all about that boy Cameron Scattaboo. Hey, I told y'all about the boy Scat. I told y'all about that Scat pack. He basically
Did he win?
No, they lost in overtime.
But Joe, can we talk about look, that game, that was a fire game. It was exciting. I just want to say I'm so happy that Texas won that game. And the reason I'm happy that Texas won that game, because if they would have lost that game, that kid, the kicker, I mean, he would have to be under real close supervision for the next couple weeks. You know what I'm saying? That was crazy.
That
was insane. Missed two kicks back to back.
It
was crazy.
I thought my boys at ASU was gonna pull it out. But all right, y'all, here we go. Ox and Mars, you guys got to make 2 picks today just to balance out the records. And Chill, me and you gonna make 1. So let's go ahead and kick it off. Mars, go ahead and just make your 2.
Let me see what games are on today.
We got Minnesota, Boston, Milwaukee, Brooklyn, Golden State, Philly, Lakers, Portland, OKC, Clippers, Miami, Indiana.
So let me get Joel Embiid first.
Okay. He's well rested.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about how the Sixers closed that
He's
game.
well rested.
He's well rested. His heat.
Yes, Mars. We are going to talk about that, Mars.
No, we are not going to talk about how the Sixers closed that game.
Yes, we are.
What's the demon for points?
35.5 against Golden
Yo,
State.
Mars.
Yeah.
Mars, you know that's crazy.
That's a lot of points.
3 threes, though?
That's coming.
3 threes?
I got him.
Mars, we're not going to judge you if you don't make a demon pick.
I'm going to judge myself. I'm going to judge myself. Points and assists.
Wait, 35.5 versus the Warriors?
That is insane.
That's easy money.
More.
Easy money.
More.
That's a lot of points, man.
More.
They be letting Draymond get away with hacking.
He had 37 or 39 the other day.
Yeah, against Portland. They be letting Draymond get away with hacking. I don't know if they're going to give Joel his rightfully earned free throws. That's the
Mars, can you remember the last time that they played the Warriors?
Yeah, and Jonathan Kuminga landed on his leg. Are you saying it's going to be a revenge game? Is that what you're saying? It's going to be a revenge game?
I'm just saying, Mars.
I think that's possible, and that's why I'm believing in Joel tonight. But like points and rebounds or points and assists feels free, because I feel like he's going to score 33 by himself. So the assists are irrelevant, but it's not a demon. I'm going to go, 35.5 point demon. We're going to go with that. We're going to
go with the 3 threes.
Does it have a double demon? Is that possible in Joel? Does he have a double demon, or is that just a Russell Westbrook thing?
I don't know. I think that was a glitch or something.
Nah, they actually do that. Remember, we seen it with the payouts. It doubled.
Yeah, I had faith. And my second one, let me see what Shaden Sharp's at.
Against my Lakers?
Yeah. Lakers suck.
Oh, here we go.
Let's see it.
They want him to score 20.
Against the Lakers?
Yeah, but Chauncey be hating on him.
Is Chauncey back already? I don't think Chauncey's back yet.
Yeah, Chauncey's back.
So he is back.
Okay, maybe Shaden's not the right pick. Maybe Shaden's not the right pick. Let me get
turnover. I'll take them turnovers from Shaden.
I'm hating on my guy.
If you talk about
let me see what Shay's at. Let me see what Shay's at.
Who they got?
Shavonte. What's those points?
Huh?
You didn't just go from 25 to 39.
Yo, PrizePicks, y'all wilding today. I'm here to tell you, y'all is wilding today.
Oh, shit. That's fire.
Damn, I'm gonna just tell you. Damn, what the hell? Damn, they're not giving me good lines right now. I'm gonna go with the.
You don't like that? You don't like that? That Shea 3.5 threes?
Hell no.
Against the Clippers? No.
I don't like Shea making 4 threes. Nah, you know what? Shea gonna get me 40 tonight.
Oh, man.
He just gave you 40. So back-to-back 40?
Give me 40 again. He pushing his MVP case. I know he on. Shea gonna cook another elite defense. There we go. Shavonte got me.
Damn. Okay. I ain't mad at you.
38.5 is crazy.
You don't got. I mean, look. Don't take the demon.
Well, your demon line. I know someone whose regular line was at 41. I know someone who.
Here, Mars, just take the 31 and a half.
Hell nah.
Take the 31 and a half.
He gonna get me 40 tonight against his former team from 5 years ago. Yeah.
You wild with that, Mars.
That's what you want to do.
And then when it hits.
Okay, what now?
Chill, you got it.
I like that Brooklyn Milwaukee game.
You want to go Brooklyn first?
I want to see what the line is on Milwaukee.
You guys see D'Angelo Russell?
Yes. He looked good last night.
Yes. Happy for that, man.
Let's see here. All right. Andre Jackson? No. What is that? Bobby Porter's?
Yes, Bobby.
Yeah, he'll definitely give me I think he's gonna crack a long ball tonight.
He's gonna shoot him.
Yeah, he'll give me. Yeah.
Nah, he might put his toe on the line just to give you some 2000.
What? Hold on, Ox. What else? What else we got? Let's see. Hang on for a second.
And if you don't go take Giannis, whatever he.
Yeah. What else? What else we got? See, Bobby Portis 20.5 on points and rebounds. I think I can get that. But what else? What else we got? What for
Bobby? We got 10 rebounds and assists, 14.
14.5 points and assists. Yeah.
We got Brook Lopez.
Dunk?
Just a dunk.
I didn't even know you could put money on these things.
Yeah, you can put money on dunks.
Why don't they give me Giannis dunks?
Brook don't get a dunk.
What do I have? What do I have?
Yeah.
What do I have for Dame? What's that for Dame? 38.5 on what?
That's fantasy score. I don't even know how they calculate
that.
7 field goals for Dame. Dame will give me Dame. I think Dame will give me 7 field goals.
He's gonna give you 3, 4.
He made 3 last games, so he do.
Yeah, I think Dame will give me 7 field goals. I just want to see what the line is on Giannis. I'm liking them 7 field goals for Dame though. Let's see what the.
There you go, Giannis right here.
Giannis.
Free throws made now. 3 dunks. That's free. Giannis gonna get 3 dunks. I want to change my pick. Can I get 3 dunks, please? Take off Shane. I want 3 dunks.
Hold on, boss. I gotta see what Chill want first.
Nah. Take off Shane. Let Mars get the 3 dunks.
I'm taking 3 dunks. There's no way you don't get 3 dunks.
Chill. Did you not want Giannis?
That's the freest thing I ever seen.
Take off Shea and give Mars them 3 dunks.
I want my 3 dunks.
All right, but it's not even Mars' turn right now.
It really ain't. It's
not even Mars' turn.
No.
I'm cool for Giannis dunks. No, 3 dunks. That's easy.
What's those?
Chill got Tatum rebounds?
I do have Tatum rebounds. I was thinking, yes, I do. I do have Tatum rebounds.
Sorry, Chill. Giannis is off the table, so let's just move past.
Clearly off the table. So if that's true, then take me to the Boston Minnesota game. Yeah, take me to the Boston.
Jaylen Brown, first quarter heater.
Yeah, take me to the Boston Minnesota game, and let's see here. 4.5 threes. No, I don't like that. Well, actually, no. You know what? I do like Derek White with them 4.5 threes. But hold on, hang on. I just bought her a drink. That's all. I ain't leaving with her yet. I ain't leaving. I ain't leaving with her. What's she drinking? Yeah, hook her up. Yeah, I'm gonna keep that one in my back pocket right there because I ain't leaving with her yet. So hold on. Let's see here.
Hey, Derek this White's right here, cheating. The fact that Joel getting 35 and Giannis getting 3 dunks turns 20 into 110. I'm about to just go ahead and submit that for myself. I
might do that for myself.
What else? Keep going up.
Today's the day where Giannis decides to not
keep going.
I'm gonna be mad as hell.
Keep going up, Ox. Let me see what else we got.
Jaylen Brown.
3 dunks against Brooklyn is he might have 7.
He doesn't get 3 dunks. Oh my.
Keep going, Ox. Yep, keep going. I don't like Jaylen Brown because I this is what I'm looking for right here. What's the 9.5 rebounds? What's the demon? 12 rebounds?
Yeah.
I think Jason Tatum could give me 13 rebounds tonight. I do.
Chill.
13?
He believes.
13?
Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle.
Yep. I think Jason.
And you think
Jason Tatum be getting them uncontested rebounds.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You're not believing in the demon points is crazy, but you believe in demon rebounds.
How many points? How many points? I was just about to say that. How many points?
Right?
Against Oklahoma City? I mean, against 20.5, 34.5. What about these assists?
5 assists.
8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably like 8.
Oh, you want to see the demon? Okay.
I just want to see the demon.
6.5.
You might as well take that.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take the 6.5 assists. I think he can give me more than that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad. All
I
right.
will take that. Mm-hmm.
Ron, you having me choose 2 when OG and DeMontis both aren't playing tonight? I don't even.
Oh, we're really testing your hoop knowledge, Big Ox.
What you got, big fella?
Do you talk
making picks? Nah, but you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go with my man. Anthony.
I don't know what it is. I think Jason Tatum might give me like 15 rebounds tonight. Watch.
Yeah,
Watch him go for like 15 rebounds
man.
tonight. Watch.
I'm taking AD's PRA.
Hawks love himself.
So they play in Portland? Oh yeah, masterclass from AD.
I got me a PRA I love too.
Wait, is Klingon playing? Is Klingon and them playing?
I don't care if he playing or not. He cooking that young boy.
Anytime DeAndre Ayton out there, your PRA gonna be hitting for sure.
That's right. That's why I said no. I seen the Jaylen Brown, but I want Rudy Gobert steals though. He got a half a steal or something. I think I seen. Or what is that?
Rudy Gobert can get steal.
Yeah, he could steal. That's easy.
A steal or a rip? Which one you think it's gonna be?
He gonna take the ball from somebody in open court.
What's the difference, Ox?
4 field goals made. You don't think he can make 4? You don't think he can make 4 dunks?
I think he can do that, but I'm just gonna go with this steal though.
I want to know what the difference is between a steal and a rip.
Steal, like if somebody passed the ball, he takes it out the air, and a rip is like just taking it from somebody that's dribbling.
Ain't that the same thing though?
It's the
same thing on the stat sheet, but that's different.
Yeah. But
you gonna watch the games, man. You gonna watch the games, man.
I'll rip you in the open floor.
One is a Yiggy, the other one is just okay. So y'all got Rudy and AD.
And last but not least, can you go type in Cam?
Cam who?
You got Cam.
I hit yesterday on Cam Scatterboo. So today I'm gonna hit on Cam Thomas.
Cam Reddish?
What's the demon points?
7.5 points, Cam Reddish?
Wait, what was his regular line with no demon? That's a goblin pick. I was about to say.
Yeah, you got demons and goblins.
Me on the app if you have me at 1.5. That's disrespectful.
Well, go ahead and go more on Cam Thomas PRA. He gonna have 26 points alone, so we're not even gonna have to worry about the rebounds and the assists. That's just gonna be cherries and sprinkles on top.
And Ron, you might be on to something. That kid Scatterboo might be the best running back in the country.
He came out and said it.
He might be,
but he lost.
Just because I lost does not mean I'm not the best at my position.
All right, here we go, y'all. We got Joel Embiid on demon time with the demon pick, going more than 35.5 points. So Joel Embiid, if you are the best scorer in the league, we need you to show us tonight, if any night. Giannis Antetokounmpo, if you truly are running dunk, man, we need you to show us tonight that you can get 3 or more dunks. Hold on. So that means he has to get 4 dunks.
Yes, that's good 4 dunks. Yes.
All right,
that's 12 points. That's 12 points on dunks.
No, that's 8.
I'm sorry, that's 8 points on dunks. I'm sorry. That's 8.
Sounds like a Giannis game.
4 or more dunks from Giannis. Jason Tatum, we need you to get into your playmaking bag because we have a demon pick for 6.5 assists from you, and we need you to go more than that. Anthony Davis, you got a PRA of 42.5, and we need you to go more than that. Rudy Gobert, we need you to get a steal tonight. You are the DPOY. You have 4 of them. We need you to do what you do best and get a steal. And last but not least, Cameron Thomas, 26 points. Don't even worry about the assist and the rebounds. We just need 26 points from you, Cam Thomas. Get buckets like you are accustomed to, and this will get us.
So why did you not just take Cam Thomas demon for points then? Let me just get a higher price if all you're doing is believing in his points.
It's not going to be high. What's his demon for points?
Come on, like we're trying to make money over here.
Damn, I just submit the lineup.
Nah, we're trying to make money over here. Like, let's think logically.
Nah, I'm sticking right where I'm at. You know, I need that buffer. I need some insurance.
Look, let's see what the demon for points is.
Yeah, I need some insurance. So we're gonna stay right where we at. And 20 turns it to
18.
1,880. We thought we was hitting yesterday. Hey, let's get into it then. All right, go ahead and run that, Big Ox.
Yep, there we go.
Good work, guys. Giannis. If Giannis doesn't dunk the ball 3 times today, I promise he's getting.
He's dunking 4 times, Mars. 4 dunks.
If he doesn't hit, he's getting slandered tomorrow. I don't care.
I do want to say this though, Ron. I really miss Gogurts. I used to trip off of Gogurts.
My son be smacking us.
I've had a Gogurt almost 20 years, bro.
You miss Gogurts?
Yeah, you didn't like Gogurts?
Yeah, all right.
I mean, it's not something I think about on the regular, but just since he brought it up, I'm like, damn.
I was a fruit roll up, and what
Gushers?
was the the other one?
Man.
The other one you would unroll and it had like the cartoon thing.
That's still a fruit roll up, but it's just not. It's not the foot by the foot. It's not the fruit.
What's
by
it
the
called?
foot.
Oh, fruit by the foot. Yeah, fruit by the foot.
Yeah.
Fruit roll up. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you got to get your gushers. You got to put the gushers in the freezer. I'm trying to tell you.
I used to roll gushers in my fruit roll up.
That's what I was just about to say. Who would have knew that was going to be such an indication of what was going to come later in life? Shout out gushers and shout out fruit roll ups.
Excuse me?
Huh?
Rice Krispie was good. Fruit roll-ups, hot tamales, all of it.
Good ass hard.
Mike and Ike.
Y'all ever had the Jolly Joes?
Not Mike and Ike. Mike and Ike suck. They suck.
The Jolly Joes
suck. Are you crazy?
Skittles suck. Mike and Ike suck.
Jolly Joes do not exist.
You probably like black. You probably like black licorice too. That's what I'm hearing.
Oh,
I don't.
That is disgusting.
Black licorice is disgusting.
Just disgusting.
Black licorice is awful.
That's old people licorice.
No, but black licorice is actually like the real licorice. That red licorice, that's not even what licorice tastes like. Like
it's like Marshmallow cherries are not real cherries either, but I only eat those cherries.
Yeah, but black licorice is actually what licorice tastes like. You know what I'm saying? Like that red stuff, that's just red.
Okay,
what's
well,
call that? Red number 50
hey, guess
red
what, Ox?
whatever,
I don't want to be. I don't want to be woke. Then I don't want to be woke. Give me the fake.
In wokeness.
The tub, the big tub. Remember the big blue tub of licorice that you would get? My mom.
My mama had 4 or 5 of them tubs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, just killing them
all day.
So good.
But all right, y'all.
Every time
go ahead, Chill.
Every time I see Swiper with that hat, I just feel like pulling up the car.
Pulling up what?
Y'all gonna hit something?
Pull a car up.
Pull a card.
Pull the car up. Every time I see Swiper with that hat, I just feel like
Jalen Red 40. This is bad for you.
Go get the stash. Yep, exactly. Exactly. Swiper. Pull up the car.
You can't do that with Swiper because Swiper the type he gonna leave his manifesto on the counter and talk about
talking to people.
No, I'm not sloppy.
We are
talking
doing
to
this
people
because the revolution will be televised. Swiper, get in the guard.
Swiper, get the money and let's go. What you doing?
Well, who you calling me? Who you calling me from New Jack City, Ox?
Oh my God.
All right, y'all. Teddy Hart sent through a $25 super chat and 1 cent. I appreciate the extra cent, Teddy. That's real intentional. I appreciate it. He said the 1972-1973 Knicks are the best Knicks team after they acquired Earl the Pearl, making them a super team alongside Walt, Dave Debb, Bill Bradley, and an aging Willis Reed. League Pass was only 25 cents back then.
League Pass.
Good times.
What do you mean League Pass?
Excuse me.
What League Pass did they have? Chill. What League Pass did y'all have in 73?
Well, I was born in 73, so I don't know.
Going to the game, so I put the price position. That's the League Pass.
25-cent popcorn and all that.
That's how much the tickets were while you both.
No, chill. They used to at that point they were smoking cigarettes at the games in the stadium.
That's fine.
What's going on?
That's fine.
Chill.
Not like chill for real though. Like do you remember like your first game? Like how much were the tickets?
My first game, I didn't pay to go to games, but I remember as a kid, the boys club used to give us tickets because the Nets were as bad as they were. And like, Mars, we was up in the rafters where you can stand up and touch the ceiling. That's how bad. And we would sneak down. That's how I was able to see Dominique Wilkins and Doc and all of those guys. And tickets upstairs was like less than $5. Yeah.
Damn.
What would that translate to now, though? Like I know everybody always says that. Oh, it was 25.
There are games, Ron, where you could get in a building for some of these teams to sit upstairs for like less than $20. Yes.
Just as I went to game 1 versus Bucks versus Pacers, those tickets were $25.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You could get in the building.
Ain't no one trying to see Halliburton. I'm trying to tell you. Ain't no one trying to see it.
Game had 35. Game had 35 in the first half.
Where was you sitting at?
0 in the second half. Like,
where was you sitting at though?
Okay. I was up top, but it was bang for the buck.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's
a playoff game. Just getting in there.
Ron, right now, if you did $5 in 19, so wait, $5 in 1994 to December. Let me see.
Y'all go every 30 years, the inflation go up. I think
so. It's a $10. It's $5 in 94 in January is $10.79 now.
$10
on the calculator. $10 and almost $11.
Nice.
So it's funny that minimum wage hasn't gone up that much since 1971. But you know what? I'm gonna stay off of that. I'm gonna keep my third eye closed for now.
Ox, that's what you talking about, Ox. Y'all, you bank tellers, y'all ain't getting no money. This money is insured anyway. Don't worry about it. This is what I'm doing this for. Ox, damn, Swiper, just get the money so we can go because they're gonna end up making us.
I'm telling you, on any regular day, I'm here for that conversation. I love that conversation, but right now, Swiper, no.
Matter of fact, Ox, you know who you just called me? Old boy from Menace to Society, the dude that was a Muslim.
Yes.
The dude that was a Muslim wasn't trying to mess with nobody.
Sharif?
He was sitting
Sharif?
there. Sharif. His dad was a teacher. That's right.
Sharif was going places, man. He was going places, man.
Sam West 34 said, "Is it weird to say that another player with Giannis his stats after his last MVP in 2020 would have won a MVP?" It seems like
another player with Giannis's stats after his last MVP would have won the MVP. So like if Giannis was Joe Boyd, would he have won an MVP with these numbers? That's what he said.
I'm just genuinely confused on which year. Because people keep pointing at Joker, and I'm saying, well, point at Embiid. Embiid has finished ahead of Giannis every single year since he won an MVP. Since his last MVP, Embiid has finished ahead of him every year, except for last year when he didn't qualify. And SGA and Luka finished ahead of him. So I think the community of voters are telling you that they don't think he's been one of the 2 most valuable players in the NBA in any season since he won his MVP in 1920.
Sim West also said, "It seems like the goalpost is being moved with him. I respect Joker, but I didn't see Giannis get the same love after the second MVP."
Well, if we got a guy that's running around in the NBA today that's almost 30 and 15, like let's just say it's not Giannis. We got a dude running around in the NBA today that's 30, that's I don't know, that's 20, that's 30, 14, and 6 assists. And his team is at the top of whether it's the East or the Western Conference. If they're doing that, I'm pretty confident that they're going to win the league MVP.
Karl Anthony Towns is getting a lot of love, and he's 25 and 13.
Karl Anthony Towns right now on the MVP tracker ahead of Giannis in MVP probability, just so everybody understands. So,
that's a stupid tracker.
Well, no, I think there's ways you can make the argument. The rebounding, he's the best rebounder in the sport. He's the second best scoring big. He's the second best scoring volume player in the NBA this year, I think, on efficiency and volume. Could he's even ahead of Giannis in efficiency. And then on the other end of that, like they're also one. They're on track to win 50 whatever games too. They're going to count put the games in there. So, I wouldn't vote him ahead of Giannis personally.
All right, Superman Real said, "Y'all, that was a dirty play. It's because y'all don't care about the Pistons.
No, that's not
Magic play like that. If it Magic play like that. If it was Stewart, ... Also, who's really good at ball on the panel? I feel like Jokic Glazers are usually non-ballers."
Sniper, he's saying you don't.
I played high school.
I don't think it has anything to do with the Pistons, even though Isaiah Stewart has a track record. I mean, we could talk about him being a dirty player, but I don't think it has anything to do with the Pistons. It was just an unfortunate situation, and I don't like to see that kind of stuff. I don't like to see that kind of stuff.
Neither do I, and I hope he recovers well and he gets back to where he left off. Because, like I said, having a great season. But in terms of who can hoop, none of these guys can see me on the court for real. But like, other than that, I don't know.
The thing is,
Mars, I took you to the hole twice, and I can't even run no more. What are you talking about?
I can't run.
I can barely run today, and I took you to the hole twice.
Okay, first of all, one of them. You start calling a petty foul that wasn't even a foul.
Which clearly was a foul.
Not by 100%. Me. Zizi wanted to come over and smack you on the head. That ain't my fault.
Okay.
I ain't foul you.
Petty foul.
And then the other one was like, it doesn't matter, man. Defense is the best player in the world right now don't play defense. So you bringing up how I play defense is irrelevant.
I'm glad we have a discussion that Giannis ain't playing defense this year, Mars. Keep talking.
Oh, wow.
I don't care about it.
Real quick, though, because Cole Anthony, I just don't want this to turn into something like that because I don't think Cole is a dirty player at all. I think Cole is like your real hustle player, what people will call a try hard. I think Cole is trying to stay in the league. I think Cole is trying to, do all the little things that count. I don't think Cole is a great basketball player, but I think he's a guy that you would like to have on your team. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so I don't want this to turn into is Cole Anthony a dirty player or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? I would just hate that narrative to be. I think he was just going for the ball. And for me, that's, I know when back in the day when I used to play ball, I'm going after all those balls. I'm doing that. And so I just would hate for something unfortunate like this to happen to make us feel like he tried to hurt Jaden Ivey because I don't think those were his intentions at all.
Is that usually the conversation, Ox? When somebody gets a play like that and then somebody gets hurt, is that usually the conversation? Even if it could have been anybody. Like it didn't have to be Cole Anthony. It could have just been I don't know. It could have been Wiggins from Oklahoma City, who has no track record of being that. Could have been anybody, and we'd be having a conversation about a guy being dirty just off the strength that he got hurt, not necessarily.
Yeah,
the guy being
and
dirty.
that's how it happens a lot of times too. And then on top of that too, I feel like I have the ability to even when it's a guy that has had plays like that. Like for instance, if Isaiah Stewart did that, I still wouldn't say that was a dirty play. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. I don't think that's a dirty play. That's like I was saying to Ron, when the ball is loose on that basketball court, that is the most important thing. And that's what coaches teach us. That's what we teach kids. Loose balls and things like that really can turn the tides of games. Like we need to get all the 50-50 balls.
Sure.
So I've always been taught when that ball gets on the ground, you get on the ground. You know what I'm saying? You can't, and watching them play again too, I see where Jaden Ivey thought he could just run and just get the ball, quick dribble, get up in the rim or do whatever he was going to do. But you got to protect yourself. And sometimes in the contact sport, you're going to get hurt.
Sure.
And it's really unfortunate. And on top of that, I don't like that super chat saying it's just because he's Detroit. Jaden Ivey, I love Jaden Ivey. I wanted us to draft Jaden Ivey, but we got Keegan. Jaden Ivey, I think, is going to be a great basketball player. I hate to see him get hurt like that, and that just really sucks. It really sucks, but I don't think
they didn't say if it wasn't a compound fracture, obviously. I don't know if it was a full fracture,
just a broken tibia.
A compound fracture, ain't that when the ball comes through the skin?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. No.
I mean, you can come back. I mean, from it, it's just obviously going to take a lot of time. I mean, I don't even know. Like, as a former athlete, I don't even know if I would have preferred
That's what happened to Paul George.
I believe a bone break is better. I believe a bone break is better.
He didn't have a compound fracture, but he broke his leg.
All the way broke. Yeah,
clearly broke his leg. No doubt.
Yeah, but not the when you break your bone, that's better than tearing ligaments and stuff. From what
it depends on where it is. But like, yeah, right. I mean, I if you ask me and like break a bone or tendon, I probably would have chose a bone just because it's I know that it gets more blood.
Yeah, he'll bounce back.
All right, y'all. Shout out to the Hall of Famers here at Players Choice. We got Tracy Steele, our newest Hall of Famer. We got Kendall Daniels, Multi Kenny, and Cobra Son of Raditz. Salute to all y'all for holding it down in the Hall of Fame tier. We also got some new members today. The first one being Chris Mogaha. Appreciate you for joining up, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Z Greatness Gaming says, salute, fellas. Keep up the great content.
Nah.
Appreciate you, Z. Mars might not, but I do. Sam West, obviously he sent through some super chats earlier, but he also became a member as well. So shout out to Sam. Sim, my bad, Sim. And then Chris also sent through a super chat. He said first ever super chat from Greenwich, London. That's how you say it? Greenwich?
Greenwich. The W silent for whatever reason.
All right. You didn't know that, Ron? Like Greenwich Village in New York City, Greenwich, Connecticut, Greenwich, London. You never heard that before, Ron?
Never heard of Greenwich at all.
Okay. I'm sorry.
But shout out Greenwich, London.
They need to take one of them E's and that W out of there then.
The English language is a stupid language.
Facts.
But as you were saying, Ron.
Chris said first ever super chat from Greenwich, London. Can y'all do best and worst versions of superstars? Example, April 21st Steph and December Steph.
April 21 Steph. So that ended the season in 21. I don't know. That's kind of tough.
November 2023 Tyrese Halliburton. November 2024 Tyrese Halliburton.
Steph went up 15. Best player ever. Steph when the game actually matters. LeBron before Dwayne Wade in the finals. And then LeBron when he has a superstar next to him. MJ when the 3-point line is moved forward.
I ain't doing that.
Nope. That's where you stop me.
Yeah,
That's where you stop me.
No, I'm good. I ain't doing that. No. We're not doing that. No.
I was seeing how far I could get away with it.
Yeah, that's as far as we going, Mars.
Okay.
That's it. That's as far as we going.
I got 3-2.5.
Do any other superstars have crazy fall offs?
James Harden in elimination games.
Yeah,
Mo. I apologize, man. I know Mo gonna say Mars after that, but
I think Jordan had a 89 Jordan that it was a month. It was probably between January to right after the All-Star break. He was phenomenal. And then Jordan in 89 in the Eastern Conference Championship after game 3.
The last 3 games,
after game 3. Let's see, LeBron James.
Kawhi, the first 2 games of the playoffs.
And then he just fell off a cliff, sure. Yep. He just fell off a cliff. James I think James in them from December to I want to say February in 2012, 2013. But then James in the NBA Finals in 2011. Garbage.
LeBron in game 1s of playoff series.
What is that about? What is going on with that?
He's got to figure him out.
The opponent. He's figuring him out.
Break.
Like you can't figure him out and play well at the same time. Okay,
that's definitely a good one. That's a real good one.
I don't understand that.
No. There's a couple fun ones, I guess.
All right, Motaz Musa has been a member for 2 months. He said, Mars, watch Attack on Titan. Respect my consistency.
You're still on that?
Yeah, Mars got to watch it.
Mm-hmm. He's been trying. He been trying to get you to get on that train, Mars.
He's trying to help Mars out, but Mars doesn't want to take his good piece of advice. Don't worry, PC Weekend's coming up. I got you. Well, make sure that Mars watches it. I assure you. Neles B, 54G. Neles B 54G became a new member. So shout out to Neles B. Appreciate you for joining up. Jamal Williams has been a member for 15 months. Jamal said, how do y'all feel about De'Aaron / Hero backcourt next to Bam? Heat 3-team trade with Sacramento and getting another team involved. Jimmy, picks, and role players got action or no?
What, Jimmy to the Kings?
I think Jimmy going to a 3rd team.
I just think that if Sacramento moves off of Fox and they don't get something substantial for him in terms of a league guard, there's no reason to keep this thing together. There isn't.
Chill. I think if they trade De'Aaron Fox,
you think Fred?
That's what I'm thinking. One more time.
You think Fred VanVleet is substantial?
Not enough for Fox, to be honest with you, because this is what they was building this unit around. Moss, stop talking to me about Fred VanVleet and his championship. He was a rotation player who was undrafted, I think, in year 2. some nonsense like that, which was what
and got a Finals MVP
6 years ago. 6 years ago he was, and we're not putting this the same Fred VanVleet that you want off your roster. You can't get him off your roster fast enough.
Portland's FC, so not my roster.
I forgot you.
Not my roster. Calm down. But second of all, he's an all-star as well. He's made the all-star. How many all-star selections De'Aaron Fox got? Like 2, 3? They're basically the same level of player.
I think he got one.
Mars, do you just do this to like be funny or
what? One time all-stars. They're basically the same. They've done the same stuff, except Fred VanVleet has a Finals MVP vote, and De'Aaron Fox has won 3 playoff games.
So with that, with I'm not entertaining this conversation. Hell no, I'm not doing that. No way am I doing that. No.
One-time all-star, people be treating him like he's the second coming. One-time all-star? Let's be serious now. Not one-time all-star was 1 season after Fred made it. So it's not like, oh, he did it more recent. Barely. Basically the same thing.
So are you saying, Mars, that we're trading? I don't know. Let's say we're trading the Benz S550 for maybe a Jaguar. Is that what we're doing, Mars?
If those are the same quality of car, yes.
Fred ain't no damn Jaguar. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Fred is not no Jaguar. No. Hey, at best, Chrysler 300. At best.
No, this is crazy. One time, I thought he made 3.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I'm not doing it. Nope.
All right, y'all. Well, obviously it's 2025. It is January 2nd, so we are barely into the year, but we can still take a look back at 2024 and all the great and spectacular things that happened, especially from our top tier players. So what we're going to do is go through the NBA total stat leaders through 2024's calendar year. This includes regular season and postseason. So let's do it. As of right now, or as of 2024, Jalen Brunson led everybody in total points with 2,638. Who would have thought?
Well, it shouldn't be surprising considering, as much as he shoots, he actually passes more this season because of Cat and having OG. And I think he's got more options this year than he did last year. So I'm not surprised, because there's more opportunities for him to score and get better looks because he's playing with better offensive players or better scorers than he did in the past. So I like it.
Oh, that includes the postseason. No, WGA.
All right. Rebounds. You guessed it.
Cleaner.
Dominant Sabonis with 1,171 rebounds.
Glass cleaner.
How many contested?
I don't care if none of them. Even if none of them were glass cleaner.
1,000.
None of them were. Then I'm not gonna lie. That would be the stupidest stat ever.
No, it's not. You know why, Mars? Because as a big, if I'm clearing space, nobody's contesting them. Because that's what bigs do.
Space.
And that's
what that's what you gotta do when you box out and get people out your way. But the thing about it is, none of his rebounds are contested. You can't contest the Domantas Sabonis rebound. That's dominance. 1,171 uncontested rebounds.
Facts.
He's a really good rebounder in traffic too. He is.
On top, he is. I'm just hating.
On top of the what? The 21 he had last night.
Mm-hmm.
He had 21 boards last night.
It's another day in the office, Mars.
Dominance.
with Andre Drummond on the floor. Yes.
We not.
Oh, here we go.
We not hyping nothing. It's just another day in the office. Man.
All right. In terms of assists, who would have thought in 2024 the best passer in the NBA with 812 assists is Tyrese Halliburton?
He like the 6th best passer in the NBA, maybe.
Didn't look like it in 2024.
If you think about distributors in the game, Oz, because like you just said, 6. Line them up. Joker.
Trey
Young.
Russell, and that's all you got.
James Harden. Yep, James Harden.
James Harden, yes.
Russell, and that's all you got.
That's 4. Okay, but if I say Russ as well, that's 5, and then that means what? He was 6. But
yeah, but Russell Harden not supposed to be on there.
LeBron's a better passer than Halle, so that's 5. So we got
5.
Yeah, we got Jokic, Luka, Trey, Harden, and LeBron. That's 5. So like I said, at best he's 6. I was out.
Oh my god.
Is he a better Is today is Halliburton a better passer than Chris Paul today?
No.
But like my point was he's at best 6, so he could be worse than that. But I knew he weren't top 5, so I was right.
Mm-hmm. So he's not a better passer today than Chris Paul. We already good with that, right?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that I'm understanding you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Is he a better passer than Garland?
We're in his territory now. This is where Darius Garland.
Man.
Like that's his group. That's his people. So I don't know, but he not top 5. That's all I can assure you. He not top 5. Those 5 names were definitive.
Yeah, I can't wait to do a prize picks with Hallie assist for the rest of the season.
And I'm gonna still be right. He's still not a top 5 passer.
All right.
Okay.
Blocks with 277. Yes, this wasn't hard to guess. Victor Wembanyama.
Well, considering he had no playoff games, I think that's kind of impressive.
Yeah, seriously.
He probably clears whoever's second though.
Like you got to factor in like Chet played all 82 games and played in the playoffs. Was like second in the league in blocks, and still didn't get more than Wemby got in his regular season. That's kind of crazy. How many did Chet?
Plus we got
I'm trying to see.
We plus with this dude we got 5 block games, 7 block games, 10 block games. Like he's just standing at the rim swatting it away.
He had 190 blocks in the regular season, and then in the postseason he had 25.
190, so that's 115. Yeah, 215. I'm sorry.
So he lost by what was that? 60, 62?
I knew it was going to be close.
That's crazy.
62 more blocks. That's 2/3 of the season.
Wemby try harder, man. He needs to lock in.
Getting
but yeah, I forgot. Then you also got the start of this regular season too. So yeah, I didn't factor that in. Whoops.
277.
Steals with 167. You got Swiper Fox.
We gotta stop talking about Steve. We gotta stop.
We don't care about this Benedict Arnold. Who's next?
Yeah, Ox is completely off of the De'Aaron Fox train.
Are you out, Ox? On De'Aaron Fox?
Way off.
That's why I'm trying to offer him up for Fred VanVleet.
I got nothing to say about this Benedict Arnold.
Is he a traitor? Wait, why? Oh, wait a second. What's going on here? Why is De'Aaron Fox a traitor? Because he ran Mike Brown out? Is that what's going on?
I don't got no
words. What am I missing here?
I don't got the time or energy for this dude.
I 100% need to find out what's going on with him because this is your franchise point guard. I think De'Aaron Fox is one of 5 guys in the NBA that's averaging 25, 5, and 5. I don't think as many guys.
I don't care about his style.
I don't think as many guys is doing that. What's your problem with him, Ox?
You can't buy my integrity. Stats or no stats.
So what does that mean, Ox? What do you mean? You can't buy your integrity? Because this was your guy, Ox.
No, it's not.
What do you mean? Okay, no, it's not right now.
That's not his guy. Ox has always been the same. You do me wrong, it's over. Bach did 100%. Him wrong. It's over.
And I get that part. When you out, what did I miss though? What did he do wrong? Like if we clipping somebody, Ox, I get that. We got to clip.
He's a Benedict Arnold.
Based on what are we based on? Benedict Arnold was 1, a know-it-all. 2, he was a traitor. What about De'Aaron Fox makes him a traitor? What did he do to make himself to be a traitor, be a Benedict Arnold? What did he do?
Man, ask Rich Paul. I'm off this. I don't want to talk about it, chill. I'm cool.
Sounds like he axed out. Sounds like
that's all right. I'm not tripping though. We got Domantas Sabonis, so we good. As long as we got Domantas, we got action.
Oh man. All right, y'all. Total 3-pointers made with 327. The greatest shooter of all time. This one was kind of as easy as the blocks with Victor Wembanyama. It is Steph Curry.
He's still washed.
Yeah, Marge, did you see some of the
washed?
some of the Russ stands saying that the team the Nuggets would be worse if you replace Yeah, did you see that?
Yeah,
nobody.
And you said the Nuggets would walk to a title if they had Steph instead of Russ.
Yeah, I mean 1,000%. Yeah,
I highly doubt it.
I think I could get with that.
Russ carrying right now.
Yeah, Steph next to Jokic will all of a sudden not look as washed, which is cool.
Yo,
All right.
if you put Steph, you replace Russ with Steph right now. Come on, y'all. Stop that.
Who's the best player on that team if Steph's on the Nuggets?
Today, Jokic.
Interesting.
Why is that interesting, Mars?
What's interesting about that?
There's nothing interesting about that, Mars.
Are you okay?
So teams gonna respect Jokic more than they respect Steph?
I don't know who's gonna respect who. I just know that if you put him on that team, they are definitely favorites in the West.
They run a pick and roll. They run a pick and roll. They're not blitzing Steph. They're not leaving Jokic.
I don't know what
you
they're
gotta
going to
pick
do.
your poison.
They're going to get cooked. That's what they're going to do.
Yes,
you're going to have to pick your poison.
Yo, Mars, it don't matter what they do. They're going to get cooked. So who cares?
Right.
You asking questions that don't matter.
Right. They're not going to get. What about our defense?
That's the NBA. Defense don't matter no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? This ain't basketball. This is the NBA, bro. They don't need to play.
You do have a couple of players who may be able to compete and may be able to protect Curry just a little bit. Maybe
if they started Brown, Watson, and AG, what would you say, Mars?
I would say you still have no useful screen navigators on your team.
Respect Peyton Watson. Brown, yes, Peyton Watson.
As a screen navigator, Peyton Watson?
He can navigate because of his length, but no, Christian Brown, no. Christian Brown cannot. No, he's built like
and then you still have Julius Stolzer in your rotation.
He's out of the rotation if Steph's on the team. No, Christian's too stocky. He's like
he actually wasn't bad last night when I watched that game. I mean, that was very much like what happened.
Who did they play? Yeah, but the Hawks are too soft for Denver. They get blown out by Denver. This is the second blowout of the year. They just don't have physicality.
But we had a ball game up into the third quarter, and then Denver blew it open. That's when I was
per usual. Yeah,
I seen Ops on the timeline cooking, talking about the Jokic glaze. I seen you.
So what? Yeah, and you see Ox is turned into a hater, man. I don't know.
No, he was cooking.
I'm talking.
Jokic throwing a pass to MPJ, and it's like, oh my god.
No, you know what? It's not even. It's just Swiper.
Can you drop Mars while we have an adult conversation, Ron?
Swiper, you are disgusting me right now, Swiper. Like Swiper, I'm trying to tell you, bro. You are the reason that I had to make a couple of these posts because you are disgusting.
What did I say?
You will hype anything this man does. I'm talking.
Right, you don't think the rough pass was elite?
Swag, man. Look at the way he's stepping. Oh man.
When do I use the word swag? What is this? 2011?
Maybe not swag. I'm just saying, swag. You like, man. Look how he takes his jacket off. He got to be the best jacket taken off forever.
Never said anything like that.
What? Did you see that pass? Then?
So wait, Russ. The Russ pass wasn't elite.
That was a good pass, Swiper.
A good pass.
No,
there was nobody under the rim.
Okay.
He's looking at him.
So you're telling me when Jokic drove to his left shoulder baseline, fake corner, no look to the wing, that's not an impressive pass?
Swiper, are you serious? Like, that's a good pass. I said that's a good pass. But then now people, the problem with that is when I say that, people are going to be like, he had 27, 18, and 30. How are you going to say that? I'm like, yeah, I didn't say nothing about that. I'm talking about this pass. Like, this pass, I just don't like hyping up regular stuff. I've seen too much basketball for me to be hyping up one-handed passes. You talking about that's a wrap. They talking about that's a wrap around. He didn't wrap that pass around nobody. He went baseline and passed it to MPJ. Like, good pass.
So you're the Skip Bayless to Michael Jordan in the 1980s is what I'm hearing.
Fine. If that's what it is, fine. I'll do that. Somebody got to keep it real. The dude is an amazing basketball player, but I'm not going to just hype it when he makes a cup of coffee. Like, oh, man, he should own a
Swiper,
somehow Ox hating for saying it's not the best pass he ever seen.
No, it's not that. It's not that. It's not the best pass that he ever seen. But Swiper, remember who we talking about here? We talking about the same dude who said that Jason Tatum throwing the ball cross court in the pocket with his weak hand is a basic pass. It's the same dude who said that.
That pass was fire though.
He said that's basic.
Well,
so
to be fair.
I just don't like regular basketball players. Like people. What I'm saying is, I think a lot of times, and Swipe, what irks me the most about you, Swipe, is I know you've been watching ball for a long time. You close to my age. I've been watching too much basketball, playing too much basketball to hype regular shit.
When LeBron did this, I lost it. I don't care if it's just a basic left-hand throw. When LeBron did this, I lost it. I don't care what. That's elite to me. I lost. I've seen it. Ox. But guess what? I stood up. I stood up.
That was not basic. That wasn't.
Wow, LeBron.
To me, it was. I ain't gonna lie.
You thought that was basic?
I was so unmoved by that.
Yeah, I was just. I'm like, okay, like let's get back on defense.
You guys know what basic means?
I'm also like, yo, what happened to the defense? Like, where you going?
Man, there's no way he just went. Like, I'm so unmoved.
Okay, let's go. Let's get on
No,
defense.
y'all
chill.
That's all it is.
The other week,
Unbelievable. I'm good.
Oh.
Just knock the light over. That's all.
the other week,
Chill, I got you. I ain't gonna have y'all looking crazy. Shoot me the thumbs up when you good.
The other week when Cat did that, the little and he passed it this way, and he spun around.
And he spun around for no reason.
What are you spinning for?
Nah, that was a dime. Oh man, give Big Purse credit.
No, Ox, you are a hypocrite. You are a hypocrite. When Sebastian Telfair did that, you lost your mind just like I did. That's where he got it from. We all thought it was crazy. Carmelo did it, and I thought it was crazy.
Swiper. All my life, I thought that was so dumb. When people just take a regular pass and they spin around like, what are you doing?
You know, Rudy Gobert did something like that this season, right? He got the ball in the post. He got the ball in the post. Someone cut, and he threw like a bounce pass, and then spun around like he had vision.
Hey, look at Marcel. Look at Marcel Glazin. Look at Marcel Glazin. I'm gonna keep it 100. Non-hoopers think that broad pass was basic.
I'm just like, bro. My thing is just, I think you know what it is. I just don't overreact when I'm like, oh, that's nice. I'm like, oh, that's nice.
Every time De'Aaron Fox gets a steal, you call him an elite defensive guard. So obviously you overreact all the time.
All the time. And now,
because by the way, you're the worst person. Drop Ox. Because now he's off of De'Aaron Fox because he's overreacting. He is the main overreactor up here. You stop it.
It has nothing to do with steals. I didn't even know De'Aaron was the leader. I did not know that he was going to be on that graph.
Now you off the De'Aaron train because of one little basic thing.
Regardless of that, De'Aaron is still an amazing basketball player, and he can play great defense without stealing the ball. So I don't overreact every time he steals the ball from somebody. I might overreact if he makes your ball handler turn 3 or 4 times and then bottles him up. I'm like, oh, okay, he get in him. You don't got to steal the ball to play good defense.
Man, you trying to argue that he was on the same level with Keon Ellis. Anyway, let's move on.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Well, we're going to get into the games of the night from last night, and lo and behold, this actually is the first game. We got the Denver Nuggets smacking up the Atlanta Hawks, 139-120. The Nuggets are now 19-13, and that puts them
What a fourth place,
number 4 in the conference.
You think they fourth in the West?
Yeah, the Nuggets then climbed up to number 4. Shout out the Nuggets.
Every team's so close, like, it doesn't.
Mars. Can you just please for 3 seconds stop? You know that. Well, actually, we don't need to action right now. Just enjoy progress. Enjoy progress. Just enjoy the progress.
So unbiased.
Can you imagine? Right? Can you imagine?
And Nikola Jokic had 23 points. 17 rebounds.
When I get married, man, she's the love of my life. Well, actually, you just happened to meet her before you met somebody else.
You gonna kick him out the wedding Swiper? Get the
that's what I'm saying. Like, come on. Well, actually, all the time. I just won $1 million. Well, actually, you weren't even supposed to get the lottery ticket.
So watching this yesterday, two things. Number one, I talked about both Austin Reeves and the chemistry between him and Anthony Davis. This thing going on between Russ and Joker, I really like it. It's really good action. And especially
chill. Russ, there's no way he would have been able to fit in. He had to be a 6-man. He was going to run Denver into the ground. Lo and behold. Well,
I feel like when you got two willing passes and you got a guy who can get downhill like Russ, and as good as he is still today, finishing at the rim, I think that's just a dangerous combination.
Still, he can't finish at the rim. He's washed.
Is LeBron James not a willing passer?
He's still missing layups.
I think James is a willing, 100%.
I think
so
not in the last 2 games.
Why that not work? If
that's a good ass question. When I watch James, and well, number one, I feel like James is more with him and with as opposed to Joker, the pick and roll action. I mean, you didn't really run a lot of pick and roll action with both James and Russ, which maybe that would have worked if you would have done that when you got 2 willing passes where James is diving to the rim like how Joker dives to the rim, where you could keep the defense at bay because Russ is such a willing passer. But James is more ball dominant with wanting the ball and pounding on the ball. Joker is actually looking for guys when he's playing in the pick and roll. And even with playing in the pick and roll with the action off the ball, he's looking for guys. James is too, but I feel like James needs the ball in his hands more than Joker in that particular situation. Now, between Russ and Joker, you got a big and you got a guard. That pick and roll action just looks so much better. And it reminds me of what's going on between Wemby and Chris Paul, where I'm thinking, man, it would have been great if Joker could have got this dude like maybe 2 or 3 years earlier. How much better I think that they would have been.
Russ is shooting 67% from 0 to 3 feet this year, which is
that's his best mark ever, right?
Like, he's been really good at the rim, yo. Really good at the rim.
Yeah, because they've been using him as a cutter, which is good, getting him easier looks, and also sometimes he's just making shots at the rim.
Yeah, he's also just finishing.
Yeah, he's also just been making shots he hasn't been making, which is nice.
And the Nuggets do a really good. I'm sorry, Mark.
There you go.
I think I feel like the Nuggets do a really good job at getting guys at the rim. I watched that Minnesota Oklahoma City game. I'm watching guys stand around the 3-point line, and there's all this space in the paint, all this space at the rim. Nobody's cutting to the rim on offense in Minnesota. Meanwhile, I'm watching Denver, and we got guys running behind guys cutting to the rim to get layups. And
they lead the NBA in lay. I think
players cut when they know they're gonna get the ball.
Jokic, though.
Yeah, that players cut when they know they're gonna get the ball. It's not hard.
The Nuggets have 7 games this year of 70 plus paint points, which is by far the most in the NBA. So I think
in addition to cracking the long ball,
occasionally.
No, they're a elite 3-point shooting efficiency team. They're just a horrifically bad volume 3-point shooting team. So, but they're the opposite of the era they're in. They're the best interior scoring team in the NBA, but then they take the least amount of threes by a significant amount in the NBA, even though they make them. So that's probably gonna.
You would like to see him shoot more threes, Swiper?
They have to. Yeah, they have to.
Ah, look at him, man. He's going away from
I would like to see MPJ shoot more.
That's why they lost to Cleveland. Cleveland couldn't guard them, but Cleveland made. I think in that game alone, they made 8 more threes when they lost by 14. They outscored by 24 at the 3-point line, but they also scored 70 paint. I think they scored 70 points in the paint versus Cleveland. Like, so they dominated, but the issue is like you can't keep up with teams if you're not going to shoot threes.
Yeah, Cleveland is strapped.
In that game, didn't they make 15 threes? Is that not
who?
Denver.
Yeah, they got outscored, but I'm saying Cleveland made 23. I'm saying that's the difference. I think they shot 12 more, if not more. There were 15 more. I can't remember what the exact number was, but they made 8 more than the Nuggets did. And you just
so the fact that but here's the problem that we're having with that logic, Swipe. But you telling us that your team is not very good in terms of volume. So you're getting them up.
They're not getting them up.
No, they're making them. They're just not shooting enough. That's what he's saying.
I think they're making
them when they shoot them. They make them, but they don't shoot enough. That's what he's saying.
They're last in attempts.
Okay, so that's where I was.
Haven't you been lost for like the last 3 years
in volume? Because when
you and the Lakers,
but they maintained the same level in 22 and 23 when they won the title to 23-24. The problem at the NBA was like the volume went up and the Nuggets volume hasn't gone up. It's plateaued.
But so that's for a reason though, too. Though, like when you have a dominant paint presence. And
that also
the offense runs through him so much.
Shoot a lot of threes. Wouldn't be last year.
What'd you say? Well, Embiid shoots a lot of threes, though. To be fair,
Jokic shoots more than Embiid.
Yeah, Jokic shoots more than Embiid.
Does he?
Sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong, but
Jokic is shooting 5 this year. Embiid shot 4 last. I think he shot 3.5 or 4 last year.
No way.
Embiid's not much of Embiid. What? Like the idea that Embiid just be standing out in the 3, like he doesn't shoot that many threes.
He shoots a lot of middies though.
He just stops.
He just stops. He's just shooting a lot. He shoots a lot of middies though.
Embiid only. Okay.
See, Ron, your eye test. The eye test is cooking you, bro.
Embiid doesn't shoot that many threes. He's a mid.
He's like mid-range
meant to love. He's a mid-range killer, and it's like, Embiid, trash. But it's like he playing the mid-range, like.
And just
but when you're that big and it seems like you shy away from the block sometimes, that's where that comes from. More, it's like
he's like second in the league in post-ups.
He might post up, but still, he should be. You know what I'm saying? Like the dominant.
But when the only one ahead of him is Jokic, just like.
Well, but with my thing with Joel, it's just like a lot of it's a lot of
in the paint.
Right, it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff that he's not doing on the block. Like I think Joel could dominate on the block, and I'm not mad at him when he catches the ball and shoots that midi. It's just that I think he just tends to go to that more than being on the block, where he could definitely kill you
Like
because it's easy.
The Nuggets have the inverse. They have the most inverted offense in the league relative to the era. They're number one in rim attempts a game, and they're last in 3-point attempts. But they're also number one in scoring in the paint, layups and dunks, I believe, on the season.
Bottom of the league.
But a lot of that has to do with Jokic and just his style of play. And not just catching on the block, but Jokic, you said you guys have a lot of cutters. Jokic finding cutters, but also, too, Jokic running the pick and roll. When I watch you guys, it's not just Russ and it's not just Jamal Murray. I've seen Strother find him for a couple pick and roll drop-offs. I've seen Christian Brown find him for a couple pick and roll drop-offs. Even MPJ. Like, you guys, Jokic cuts, but you guys find them.
It's what they want, but also the Nuggets have always, in the last 5 years, have maximized what's the easiest shot in basketball is layups and dunks. And so Jokic was just like, all right, well, let's just do that. Like, we score more than we'll be more efficient from the most efficient place than anyone else. The problem is because the NBA has moved so sharply in the last 3 years to 3-point shooting, I think that's when the offense has become antiquated to some degree. Because even if they're scoring really well versus Cleveland, they play Boston next week on Tuesday. Now they can beat Boston because Boston has some holes in it that that are very clear that the Nuggets can take advantage of. But Cleveland in particular, they have shooters, and even Evan Mobley, 41% from three this year. Mm-hmm. He's taking 5 a game. And so when you're that spaced out,
2 of them.
And then you're shooting again on the other end, and then you're shooting 43s or 44 threes a game. And this team over here, the Nuggets shooting 30, 31 threes a game. Mathematically, even if I'm more efficient than you wish the Nuggets were than Cleveland, the Nuggets shot 50% from 3 versus Cleveland, and they lost. The Nuggets shot 50+% from the field, and they lost. Go ahead, Joe.
They're just not getting up enough threes. And
how many turnovers did they have, though? Like, that's also a thing, too.
It was relatively equal. It was relatively equal for both of them. But the Nuggets passed more than anybody else, too, so that's why they turned the ball over.
I mean, it's easy to say the reason you lose is because you give up more threes, but at some point, it's like, you gave 150 points in the regulation.
150.
Like, I mean, it's hard for me to say
that wasn't just the long ball. That wasn't.
It's hard for me to say the long ball.
Y'all gave up the 150. Y'all didn't give up the long ball. Y'all gave up the cheeks.
But that's
you scored 135.
Without no
that
drinks,
should
Ron.
be enough to win a regulation.
I agree, right? And I think that's where the 3-point
is going back to the spot.
The Nuggets.
So just said what's up. Like, okay.
The Nuggets have gone. The Nuggets have gone from the number 1 3-point defense in the league to 12, and that's going to be the biggest issue. They don't defend the 3 well at all anymore, relative to what they used to do.
So I hate to have to go right now, yo.
And that's because they have to sell out to protect the rim.
Catch on tomorrow.
Where you going?
Well, they're just not as sharp as they were last year. But I also think KCP leaving has been a big issue.
KCP leaving is a big deal. Aaron Gordon missing time. There's a lot.
No AG for half the season. Aaron Gordon.
There's a lot of things that are going wrong defensively, but it's just like you scored 135. Like, I'm not going to blame the defense for that loss. Like, you guys lost because I'm not gonna blame the offense for that loss. Like, you guys lost because you couldn't.
Remember, they lost to the Blazers. They lost to the Wizards. They lost to the Pelicans. That one game, Jokic obviously wasn't there.
Yeah,
but all those games
nearly lost to the Pelicans again. Nearly lost to them again.
Yeah.
That's the 3-point shot. Yeah, they just. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think this is where I think where the modern NBA is in the regular season. I would much rather you just, if you're just not going to play defense, we'll go all offense then. Like go all the way to the offensive side and go score. And they've been doing that. They have 4 straight games of 130 points scored. In the last 10 games, I think they have a 124 offensive rating, which is obviously by far the best in the NBA. They're also 8-3 in their last 11, to be fair. So they're also winning a lot of games. But yeah, just
Swiper. I gotta ask you though, like, how important do you think Russell Westbrook is for this team right now? It's currently constructed.
Very.
Like, what would you say in terms of? Because I think he's y'all second best player.
No, he's not.
What do you think he is, though?
I think he's one of their 5 best players. I think given Aaron Gordon's been out, I think he's been able to step into that role diligently. I think he's been better than Christian by and large on the year. But I also think people, like, that's where you get stuck in the stat accumulation. Like, he's not a better player than Murray, because Murray is like, he does a lot of things he just simply cannot do, even especially 4 quarters, like versus the Pelicans, versus the Blazers, even versus Cleveland, he had a really good game. Like in the last month, Murray's averaging 22, 6.5 on like 48, 42, 90.
He has been better.
Yeah, he's been a lot better.
Like
he's been better.
He's got to regular season numbers.
Yes, he could have gotten much worse. Yes, he could have, Mars.
Nah, I don't think he could have gone much worse. If he gone much worse,
pretty bad. Do you think he's been better than Michael Porter? Like Michael Porter's averaging like 19, 7, and 3, and he's on 42% from 3, 50%.
But I think the quality of shots that Michael Porter has been getting has been a lot better than what it's been in because Michael Porter is one of those guys who, he doesn't really see a shot that he doesn't like. But I feel like Russell Westbrook has put him in space where he's gotten better looks. Now, he had a shot yesterday that I remember was in the middle of the third quarter where Russ hit him on the baseline and he took 2 dribbles. That's a 2-dribble 14, 15-footer. Instead, he kicked it out to the long ball line. I would have loved to have seen him shoot that and make that, only except he kicked it out to the long ball line. And I understand where we are with the mid-range, but I just feel like that could have done some more for his game. But I think his quality of shots that he's getting now, and especially in this stretch, I feel like the quality of shots that he's getting, I feel like it's been a lot better for his game.
Yeah, I mean they've had 4 games. They lead the NBA in this as well. They've had 4 games this year with 44 or more assists. And
the ball moves.
100%. Their ball moves. They're leading the NBA in free throw attempts. They're leading the NBA in transition points. They're leading the NBA in free throw makes. All of that, a lot of that has to do with Russ. So they've changed their offensive philosophy to make it easier for Russ, which is why I think Malone deserves more credit for this.
Yeah, that is fire out of him. Definitely got to tip my hat to him.
And real quick, I'm sorry, swipe it so we could get some clarity. Mars and I were having a discussion yesterday, and it was about power forwards, and it was about Giannis and Charles Barkley. And then Mars brought up Joker. And it wasn't about all time, it was about in their prime. And then Mars brought up Joker. This had nothing to do with Joker. Nothing. So
why is Barkley even in that conversation? Respectfully,
I just wanted.
But he won the conversation. So
how is Barkley winning a Jokic conversation? Chill.
That's what I'm saying. We this had nothing to do with Joker. Nothing.
Okay. Yeah,
Joker wasn't even a part of this. And again, we talked about this 4-year stretch from in their prime from 1989 to 1993. Not all time.
That makes it even worse.
Yeah,
Barkley was great.
It doesn't. Actually, it doesn't. It doesn't make it worse, Mars, because Mars's argument, and again, I don't want to rehash this, but Mars's argument was the analytics hate Charles Barkley. That was Mars.
Misrepresent my argument.
I want to make sure.
That was not my argument.
Mars, I want to make sure that I don't misrepresent you, but you did make it clear that the analytics do not like Charles Barkley. Is that correct?
No.
You did not say that.
Swiper, I'm going to tell you what happens.
You did not say that?
That's crazy. This is what happened.
You didn't say that the analytics don't like Barkley.
No, because that's crazy. I'm going to tell you how we got there and what happened. So someone sent a super chat. I think it was Miranda Tanzambi. Tanzambi. I think it was them. They said, of players in each conference make an all-time team, had to have played the majority of your career in the conference, 10 plus years. So then we go through the Eastern Conference, and Chill says Bill Russell,
Giannis at first.
At the 4, he said Charles Barkley.
Yeah. No, he said Giannis first. Remember,
I said
pretty confident.
He said Charles Barkley.
I'm pretty confident.
And then we was talking about how long Charles Barkley was actually in the East. But besides the point, so we ended up with Giannis. Being there. And then he said LeBron. No, he said Bird at the 3, MJ at the 2, and Bron at the 1. We ended up having a Bron Isaiah Thomas at the 1 conversation for like 2 seconds. And then in the West, he said Magic Johnson, Kobe, Kevin Durant, Tim Duncan, and Kareem. And then the reason we ended up starting the conversation is because Chill said Barkley before he said Giannis on this all-time Eastern Conference team. So then I said, isn't Giannis better than Barkley? To which he said, no. So I was like, huh? Like, there's just no way. So then we start having the conversation about Barkley and Giannis. And then I asked, so if Barkley is better than Giannis, who's better between Barkley and Jokic?
Which has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
He said, I don't know why we're talking about Jokic, because we were talking about power forwards. And then I said, I'm just asking who's the better player. He said Barkley's better. And then he said, I feel like people have forgotten who Barkley was. Barkley in his prime, glass cleaner, excellent in transition, really good passer, really good finisher around the rim, blah, blah, blah. Then I said, if only Giannis was good at those things too. And he said, I'm not saying Giannis isn't good at those things. I'm just saying I feel like people have forgotten who Charles Barkley was. And then he said, I feel if we had analytics back in the early 90s like we do today, Charles Barkley would have gotten more love, more appreciation. Right. And then I responded with, if analytics were around in Charles Barkley's time, he wouldn't have even won the MVP because Michael Jordan factually cleared him in all of the analytics. So I would argue that Charles Barkley benefited more from not having the analytics at the time. That was not me saying the analytics didn't like Barkley. That was me saying.
But you said that they didn't like him.
That was me saying that was me saying he wouldn't have won an MVP.
Okay, you said that, but you did say
the best player
right from the beginning. You did say that, Mars, and you also said that the analytics don't like Barkley. You did say that. That was part of that. That was part of it. You did, but
find the clip. Someone find the clip. I did not say they don't like Barkley. They had him as like a top 5 player. They just didn't think he was the best, and they probably thought David Robinson was better.
And this conversation was about Charles Barkley during that stretch, not about Charles Barkley all time. This was about Charles Barkley during that stretch from 89 to 93 in peak Charles Barkley years. That's what this was about. So I just want to make sure that we get some clarity. Which, when we're talking about Joker right now, Ron, what did he go yesterday? He went 20, what did he go? 23,
17, and 15 in 3 and 3 quarters.
And the fact that we're seeing this in real time, and we see this, I mean, how many days a week do we get to see Joker? We get to see Joker what? 3-4 days a week? We get to see him on the regular, and we're seeing this in real time. When I'm turning on the news at 15, 16, 17 years old, and I hear Barkley went 30 and 15, 40 and 20, 25 and 17, 32 and 18, 27 and 14. That was going on the regular with Charles Barkley between 1989
and 1993.
When he
goes 11 and 8?
Only except it wasn't. I wasn't able to see it nearly as much. Now the 11 and 8 that you just said, Mars, the 11 points and 8 rebounds. I mean, all of these guys have bad games.
What's a Jokic bad game?
Do you hear about Charles Barkley's, especially 30 years removed? What do we talk about more? When Jokic has a down game or when Charles Barkley had a bad game in February 1991? What are we going to talk about more?
The reason why we're going to talk about Joker, because we see him more.
Exactly. So we have a lot. We remember more of the current day, the bad games they also have. The older players, not just Barkley in general, get mythologized in a sense where we don't like, unless it's like a major meltdown, black mark on their legacy, 2011 finals, 04 for Kobe, etc. We don't talk about just the regular bad game they had on a Wednesday in March. Like, we're not going to talk about that. But if Jokic has a bad game next month, we're going to talk about Jokic's bad game. But we're never going to do that for a Charles Barkley. We're never going to do that for a Dirk because we're 20, 30 years removed from their career. So we're not going to remember when they played against the Kings and Charles Barkley had 14 points and they lost by 6 and he missed the game winning shot. Like, we're not going to talk about that because no one cares. Like, especially we're 30 years removed. Like, we're not going to care. And when we're 20 years removed from Jokic, we're not going to bring up the game where he only had 17 points and didn't shoot very well against whatever team that happens against. We're not going to bring it up because we're going to be so far removed from that happening. We're just going to remember all the good moments.
100%, Mars.
That's just what happens.
Which goes back to my original logic. If we had this stuff in real time, how would we be talking about these guys?
But don't you feel like you're?
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Because the point that you just made, like we were just talking about, with Joker doing what he's doing, the exact thing was going on in terms of numbers, even with bad games. So if we saw them more, right? If we saw Charles Barkley more, if we saw John Stockton more, if we saw Hakeem Olajuwon more, and I saw 15 points, if I saw 17 points and 6 rebounds and they lost on a buzzer beater because Olajuwon didn't block out, if I saw John Stockton 12 points and 11 assists, but he turned the ball over at the end of the game, which cost him the game, we'd have different conversations about them because why? We were seeing them more in real time. And I feel like the reason why we're having the conversations that we're having about Joker, the reason why we're having the conversations about Giannis, because we're seeing these guys more and we're seeing it in real time. We're not opening up the newspaper or we're not just catching clips on the local news or Sports Center or anything like that. If we saw these guys more, I think the narrative about Hakeem Olajuwon, I think the narrative about Charles Barkley, like you talk about this mythology of these guys, if we were able to see them more, I think that myth would actually be more factual.
And if we got to that point, everyone would realize Jokic and Giannis are better than Barkley. I think even you think Jokic and Giannis are better than Barkley. I just think I think you think they're better than him. I don't believe you when you say Barkley's better than him. I don't believe you.
I'm just talking, Mars. I'm just talking about that specific time, that 4-year stretch.
I know.
Barkley, that's all I'm talking about. That's
which
all.
Makes Barkley has the advantage in longevity. You making it about peak makes it worse for him.
I ain't even talking about him being a better player. I wasn't talking about him being a better player all time. I was just talking about that one stretch.
Yeah,
and
so Barkley at his best versus them at their best.
But that's even worse.
Because like I said, and the reason why is because like we're seeing right now with Joker, 26, 17, and 13.
Barkley never did that.
That's not true. He was doing stuff like
Barkley,
that.
Barkley was
35, 28, 13, and 5.
He was 30. He was. I
know. I remember that. But chill. But you delayed on the last number for a reason. You're comparing him to someone who's currently having maybe arguably, not definitive, the best offensive stretch we've seen, period. And then on top of that, has carried his team to a title, has won whatever. I'm not bringing MVP stuff, whatever.
You can bring it up, sure.
No, I'm not.
I mean, all of that has happened in the stretch.
That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Like Barkley was never even held among his contemporaries the way Jokic is being held among his own contemporaries.
That's not
other
true.
players.
Yes,
it's not. Barkley was never, again, chill, respectfully, was never considered the best in the world. I think you're better than Malone. I've already argued this. I think you're better than Malone, whatever. You don't think you're better than Malone.
I don't.
You don't think you were better than Hakeem. You don't think you were better than Jordan. You don't think he actually did anything to earn himself in best in the world conversations. Whereas
but he was in that, though. But he was in that conversation at one point in 1983. He was in that conversation.
Where?
1992, 1983.
You did not think he was in conversation with Jordan.
I didn't think he was better than Jordan, but it was just like the Giannis.
What's the conversation? So besides Michael Jordan, he might be the best in the world. Is that how you frame that?
That was the conversation. Yeah.
So he was the second best in the world, maybe.
Maybe.
That was the conversation.
And that's what's going on.
The second best. Yeah.
That's what's going on with Joker?
Maybe. No, Joker is the best player in the world. I'm not arguing that. No, I will not argue that. But again, when we're talking about these two guys, I'm talking about that specific time when from 89 to 93, where I would open up the paper, I would see the news, and Barkley was 35 and 17, 40 and 20, 35 and 16,
okay, Cat's
38 and 17. That was going on.
Cat's doing that right now.
But Barkley was doing it way more. In those 4 years.
So you're saying
who's better defensively? Like, let's do it. Giannis, Jokic, Barkley. Rank them 1 through 3 defensively.
Giannis
is at 1.
Giannis, Barkley, Joker.
Okay, I'm gonna ask everyone up here. Ron, rank them 1 through 3 defensively.
I'll do that. Giannis, Barkley, Jokic.
John.
Giannis, Barkley, Jokic.
Swapper.
Like we're doing today or just at their peak?
This stretch from Jokic. So
4 years.
Oh, we're talking
Jokic. I love Barkley, but it's clearly Jokic. Barkley.
So
I have the NBA finals. I have the
Jokic,
NBA playoffs.
Giannis, Jokic, Barkley.
1,000%.
I also have Giannis, Jokic, Barkley. Okay. Offensively, rank them 1 through 3. Chill.
Jokic, Giannis, Barkley.
Oh, thank you, Chill.
Oh shit, my bad. I thought you were going
But anyway, okay, yeah. I'll get back to you. Chill. Offensively.
Jokic, Barkley, Giannis.
Okay, Ron.
Giannis, Barkley, Jokic.
He's true.
Thanks for your contribution. Swap.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Jokic, Giannis, Barkley.
John.
Jokic, Giannis, Barkley. There we go.
So ignoring Ron for whatever reason he wanted to troll.
Yeah.
I want to ask, and I'm gonna open up the floor to all three of you who said Barkley's a better defender than Jokic. Why?
I take athleticism into account. Barkley being undersized. Barkley being undersized. I think he could move his feet a little bit better on the perimeter. I think Barkley blocked more shots at the rim even at his size. I think Barkley at that time, especially being undersized, I think he was a better rebounder. Those are the things that I think about with Barkley.
Is he a better rebounder because he was undersized, so it made it more impressive? Or was he a better?
No, because that's just aesthetics. That's just what it looks like. I mean, I think that because he was in a big man league, playing against bigger guys, and the fact that he was able to do that in a big man league, and be amongst the trees and still be elite, being able to rebound in traffic, being able to.
Josh Hart's the best rebounder in the league now.
Josh Hart is the best.
Is he the best rebounder in the NBA right now?
I think that's an asinine question.
No, it's not. He's
yes, it is.
By far the best undersized rebounder in the league, even
he's
amongst
the best.
big.
No, that's not the best. First and foremost, he's not the best. Okay, he's not the best undersized. He might be the best guard rebounder. Is he the best small forward rebounder in the game?
Yes.
Is he
1,000%?
No, he's not. He's not a better rebounder than Jason Tatum. No, he's not a better rebounder.
Yeah,
he's not a better
rebounder. We're getting away from the point. We're getting away from the point.
Let's stay focused.
He just averaged 17 rebounds a game. He's
not a better rebounder than what Jalen Johnson is doing. But let's get back to the point. Tomas, to answer your question, I think his ability to move his feet on the perimeter. I think his ability to block shots at the rim with bigger guys and be able to rebound amongst the trees, defensive rebound in particular, and in traffic. I think Barkley.
What year are you bringing up for Charles Barkley?
I'm a go through.
Okay.
I got you.
Better defense. I think he was a better defensive player.
Okay, Ron and John, you want to add anything to that?
I think the athleticism. I think I would take Barkley's athleticism and how he moves his feet. I mean, that would be the differentiator for me.
Ron?
Athleticism, which obviously allows him to be in more passing lanes. Barkley was in passing lanes, getting steals and stuff like that. Also, now you can say Jokic has good hands, but Barkley was actively in passing lanes. Also, too, just block shots too.
I think
he's a better rim projector.
I think Jokic does have the advantage when we come to when we talk about defensive rebounding. But once again, and Jokic does play passing lanes pretty well, and his hands are pretty good. So I wouldn't say it was some type of drastic gap. But I do think I would lean towards.
We're measuring them at their peak. So
so I
definitely think it was a gap between them being in passing lanes and stuff like that. Jokic is, he's typically, he plays that big man role where he's in the middle of the paint. So if you drive in and try to make a pass, his hands are there. He can slap that. Involved. Yeah. And that's just because of positioning. In terms of somebody throwing a cross-court pass and you going and snatching it, and now we got we in transition going the other way. Mm-hmm. That's the type of defender that defense that Barkley gave you.
Okay, so I want to start with saying we've pretty much agreed. We're talking about 89 to 93 Charles Barkley.
Yes.
So
I think that's peak Charles Barkley.
Yeah. So I want to say, first of all, with the shot blocking stuff, we're way past like the athletic peak of Charles Barkley, where he was actually blocking shots at a solid rate. We're now at the point where he was still very athletic, but he wasn't the rim protector he was in his early years as a shot blocker. I think the numbers will convey that as well. I could look them up if you want.
In what year?
From 89 to 93, I think you'll see.
93, he was giving you a block a game in 93.
Okay, so then what about the
Jokic ain't never.
Do you have the numbers? Do you have the because I'm not?
He was legitimately giving you a block a game. It was just
92 and 91 and 90 and 89.
So 92 it was 0.6. 90, 91, 0.5, 90, 0.6. And then all the years before that, he was giving you 1.3, 1.5, 1.6.
Yeah, the years that aren't the years we were talking about. So awesome. I'm going to stand on what I just said, that we weren't seeing this shot blocking Charles Barkley at this point in his career. I also want to say, when we talk about who's the better defender, I think it's relevant that we bring up that like half of Charles Barkley's rebounds were offensive. So that's not providing defensive value. It's great rebounding. But when we talk about defense and defensive rebounding, I think we can. Can we agree Jokic is the better defensive rebounder?
Yes.
I don't classify rebounds with defense. That's something you guys do. I think that's completely separate.
I do.
Okay, so Chill, can we agree Jokic is the better defensive rebounder?
As far as the numbers, sure.
Sure. Okay. I'll take the victories I can get.
Yeah. I just want to just to read because it's chill. We're doing 89 to 93. So from that stretch, defensive rebounding percentage, 21% for Barkley, 20% for Barkley, 18.6, 22. And then the last one is 26. So he started picking out that last season that you're talking about. Defensive rebounding percentage. For Jokic, from his MVP start, 26%, 26%, 35.5, 31, 29.6, and 27% defensive rebounding percentage. So percentages. Go ahead.
So by the numbers, okay.
Well, hold on. What's the best version of Jokic?
I would
Are
say
we going today?
I think last year.
That's
Let's just go. If we're doing that, Charles Barkley's right on par. If not, he averages more defensive rebounds.
And I also think we're talking about
it's literally the same thing.
How many defensive rebounds does Charles Barkley averaging from 89 to 93?
I think
from the whole stretch, or we just going with his MVP year?
7 or 8, I think.
Well, Chills made it clear it was 89 to 93. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, 89 to 93. I think he averaged 8. I think 7 or 8 defensive rebounds.
If we're going off the stretch,
I don't know the numbers. I'm just going off.
If we're going off the stretch, Jokic's stretch is better. If we're just going off that top season from Charles Barkley, he beats him.
I don't even think 93 is Charles Barkley's best season, but that's not a conversation.
I don't either.
Yeah, that's not a conversation like I'm bothered.
I think 90 is his best season, if I'm being honest.
But so we spoke about the rebounding, we spoke about the shot blocking that Charles Barkley. I feel like, and this is what I'm not blaming you or saying you're wrong. I'm saying when you get so far removed from something, we visualize players as what they were good at, but we don't visualize it in terms of at what point in their career were they good at those things. If that makes sense. I'll use an example. 20 years from now, Kawhi Leonard will be remembered as one of the greatest two-way players ever. We know he was one of the best perimeter defenders we'd ever seen in the mid 2010s, and we know what he was doing in the playoffs in the late 2010s and early 2020s.
But when we get to 20,
it doesn't matter that those defensive and offensive peaks never overlapped. 20 years from now, people will be talking about 2021 Kawhi as if he was still one of the best perimeter defenders that I've ever played. And that they're not wrong for saying that. It's just once you get far enough removed from it, you just start convoluting these players.
Which
Charles
goes back
Barkley defensively was as a rim protector and stuff, and a defensive playmaker was better before he peaked as a player. But because he had any period of time where he was a good defensive playmaker, we can convolute that into his peak. When during his peak, he just wasn't that anymore. And that's not a bad thing. It's just when you get far removed from
what I can argue is that one, he still was doing that, and he was still doing it at a good level in the league amongst trees. That's what I think about when I think about
the game was worse off. It was a worse offensive era than it is right now, though. To be fair,
when you say it's a worse offensive era, it was a worse offensive era, but there were better big guys though, and there were better big guys.
But if we're talking about Jokic guarding other bigs, then I don't even think this is much of a question, respectfully. Because if you're saying Jokic is guarding AD, Embiid, or Giannis or whatever, well then no. That's, to me, it's not even a conversation. Jokic struggles primarily in space versus smaller players. That's where the detractors come from. Jokic is a good post defender versus other bigs. The issue is when you get him in space versus Steph Curry.
He is a good
versus
post
Dame
defender.
Versus Dame Lillard.
Okay,
versus,
all right.
Versus
He
Anthony
can be a great post defender. In the 90s, in the 80s, he is getting deep fried. And then they're gonna take him out and throw him in the oven. And then they're gonna take him out the oven and throw him in.
Charles Barkley also was not a good post defender. He just wasn't.
Yeah, well,
that's why I didn't bring that up.
Yeah, but when we talk about Charles Barkley's defense, we're not. At least I wasn't talking about him as a post defender. The reason why I said he's better is because he's more athletic. I think he's a better perimeter defender, and he's in passing lanes, and what he can additionally provide you by blocking the shot.
In reality, because in reality, Charles Barkley's a better athlete than Jokic for sure. He runs the floor better. He's quicker.
So is Zion Williamson.
Absolutely. Anytime Charles Barkley was on the perimeter, he was getting cooked.
So is Zion.
So in theory, sure, he can theoretically move better. But in reality, I could go back and watch any random Charles Barkley game. Anytime he's on the perimeter, he's getting fried. He couldn't stay in front of anyone. So he's more athletic. So in theory, the better athlete can move better on the perimeter. But in reality, he couldn't stay in front of anyone. So respect, who cares that he might be better than Jokic here? He was still terrible. So if he was terrible on the perimeter, even if he was better than Jokic, let's say I give you he's better than Jokic for the sake of argument, he was still a clear negative as a perimeter defender in an era where he wasn't even asked to be a perimeter defender that much. So him being better than Jokic was marginal impact at best because no one was asking Charles Barkley to guard anyone in space. And when he did, it was maybe 3-4 possessions in a game. So it wasn't much impact if he was good at it. And then when you factor in the fact that He was a terrible post defender in an era where post defense was important. He was ridiculously undersized for his position. So he really couldn't guard most power forwards in the NBA, which is why he ended up guarding smaller forwards at the time. And that's why his quickness and his perimeter defense ended up getting exposed more than most power forwards would. And you factor in the fact that because of his size and because of the athleticism decline from his earlier days, he wasn't a good rim protector either. There was times he could come over and get a nice outside block.
Sounds crazy to me. So then, wait. No. What you guys are doing?
Yeah, y'all done did it now.
Because what you guys are doing is throwing a whole bunch of numbers at me, which does make sense, Moss. I'm not going to argue that. Yes, you did. Yeah.
In that whole spiel, what number did I say?
This is what I'm saying. Okay, this is what I'm thinking. The guy that I was watching, right? The guy that I was watching. One, he was not a terrible post defender. He was below average, but he wasn't terrible as a post defender. Let's start there. Okay, because I do have to guard on some level. I do have to guard Malone. I do have to guard Terry Cummings. I do have to guard AC Green. I do have to guard some of the better power forwards. And when I get switched onto big guys, I do have to rebound at a high level. Now, to your point, when you talk about him being a rebounder on the offensive glass, okay, well, on the defensive glass, I also have to rebound. And I got to rebound against Ewing. I got to rebound against Olajuwon. I got to rebound against amongst the best bigs in the game as an undersized player. Even if I was 6'9" or 6'10", it still looks good off the strength that I'm amongst some of the best trees in the game. Now, when you're talking about being a bucket getter, the fact that I can play on the block, the fact that I can play in the mid-range, the fact that I am fantastic in transition, better than most of these guys today, if we're being honest, especially how wide open the game is. The fact that I'm doing all of this stuff and I'm doing it in a stretch where the big man is prominent, where the big man is doing everything that he's doing, all of that stuff you're telling me, Mars, essentially is saying that I didn't see what I saw, even though I only saw a small sample size of it because I wasn't able to access Joker like you guys are today. I wasn't able to access Steph Curry like you guys were today. I only saw in the newspaper, and I only saw on CBS from 2 or 3 times a month. That time was the only time I was able to see it. If I was able to see this guy a lot more, which is what I was originally talking about, if I was able to see him a lot more, I can tell you we'd have much more. I think we'd have a lot different conversations about these guys than we do today. Way different. And when I talk about Giannis and I talk about Barkley, those 4 years, what Barkley was doing just for his crew alone, he was phenomenal. And the way you guys talk about Giannis, the way you guys talk about Joker, if we had that kind of access to Charles Barkley, you'd be talking about him like that.
But we'd be talking about his negatives more too, though.
Wait, no,
just like you do with Giannis, just like you do with Giannis. And that's why, that's why the conversations are so nuanced about them, because we are able to access all of their positives, all of their flaws.
Well, you can access all the numbers.
I know. I agree too.
But I want to. First of all, we were talking about defense. I was going to get to offense if we had enough time. I don't know if Ron wanted to move on, but I was going to get to the offensive part of the game too. But on the defensive part of it, I'm not saying you didn't see what you saw. Like, I believe you watched Charles Barkley when you could watch him. I'm not saying you didn't watch basketball. What I'm saying is you are relying on a 35-year-old recollection of what you saw of Charles Barkley. You're talking about 89 to 93. That is 32 to 35 years ago or something you are trying to remember of already, by your own admission, a limited sample of games. If you only got to see Barkley, let's say high-end estimation, let's say you got to see Barkley 10 times a year for 4 years, and you saw him in the playoffs as well. So let's say you saw 50 Charles Barkley games 35 years ago, and you were trying to remember with high accuracy how good he was at nuances of the game. That's borderline impossible to do. Like, I'm not blaming you for, in my opinion, being mistaken about how good Charles Barkley was on defense from 89 to 93. If I was trying to remember something from 35 years ago, I don't think I would be right either. What I'm saying is there are games that you can watch that are available to watch right now on the internet. And if you watch them, I think you would view Charles Barkley not differently to how you remember him, but I think you would notice certain things about Charles Barkley that you don't remember now because you are watching the game in real time as opposed to remembering something from 35 years ago. The point about Charles Barkley being a pylon on the perimeter defensively, like, that's not going to be something you're going to remember when you visualize Charles Barkley from 35 years ago. But we are going to visualize it for Jokic because we watch Jokic play 3 times a week. We are going to visualize the plays where Giannis misses free throws. It's like, Yeah, we watch Giannis play 3 times a week, so we're going to see it more. With Charles Barkley, you're not going to remember the clear deficiencies he had defensively. Sure, if you don't want to say he was a terrible post defender, he was a negative. If you don't want to see, if by all, I think, measures of the eye test, he was a terrible perimeter defender. And he wasn't a good rim protector, especially in an era where the rim was the most valuable it could ever be because the game was played inside out. You had a power forward who was undersized and legitimately a bad rim protector at the time. He didn't provide much help. He did block a couple shots, but even then it was more help side, come over late, rotate and get a block. But in terms of general over the course of a game, Charles Barkley would make like 2 good defensive plays a game and make like 5 bad ones. Like he was actively hurting his team's defense in a way that I don't think Jokic did for a long time of his prime, especially when you start. And I still haven't said a stat, by the way, like this whole time. But if I want to say a stat, I would say there was never a team Charles Barkley was on that was good on defense. Never in his career. There was never a time that Charles Barkley was on a team that was competent on defense. Jokic has at least shown the capability to be part of a defense that was solid. In the playoffs, they were actually a good defense. There's never been a time where Charles Barkley was a part of a good team defense. Now, if you want to say that's on things more than just him, I agree, because team defense is obviously on more than just an individual. Sure. But when I factor in the fact that he couldn't guard the perimeter, he was too undersized to guard most people his position. He wasn't a good post defender. He wasn't a good rim protector. The steals that he did get, yeah, he was a defensive playmaker. He also gambled a hell of a lot. I know the example I could use was that game winner against, for Chicago when he gambled on a steal, didn't get it, and it led to a wide open jumper. That's things that Charles Barkley did regularly. Like in my opinion, he was a detrimental defender. Like he actively made his team's defenses worse. I don't think Jokic is detrimental. I think Jokic can play within a scheme and make himself feasible. Now, can he play in multiple schemes? No. Can he play the typical schemes that most bigs can? No. But at least there's one singular scheme I can point to with Jokic. It's like, with the right personnel and this singular scheme, Jokic looks viable. That didn't exist for Charles Barkley. There wasn't a time where Charles Barkley was like, you know what? Charles Barkley's solid on defense, or you could use Charles Barkley like this and get good value out of him, because even the good things he did were outweighed by all the bad things he did. So I feel like, and I'm not saying chill, do some homework and go watch a 1991 Charles Barkley game. You don't have to do that. I'm not saying you have to do that, but I'm saying if you have time, just go watch one Charles Barkley game and just watch Charles Barkley. Just let me know what you see from him defensively.
Right. And here's the difference. The difference with everything that you just said is what we're doing right now with Joker. We're watching Joker in real time, and we don't have anything else to go up against Joker 20 years from now because we're watching this right now. I didn't have an opportunity to watch Charles Barkley on the regular in real time. That's why we're talking about Joker the way we're talking about him. With Charles Barkley, the times that I was able to watch him when he was awesome, whether it was on TV or whether it was in the playoffs, he did not look like a detriment because of the stuff that he did. He was so awesome at scoring. He was so awesome at being on the glass. He was so awesome in transition. So now we're looking at the game way more different today than we did 35 years ago. Because a guy like Charles Barkley, 35 years ago, sure, he got beat in the passing lane. But I could say the same thing about Joker. The fact that Joker gets beat by big guys. The fact that Joker gets beat on the blocks, on the box. The fact that Joker gets beat on the perimeter where guys are driving by him. That's going on with Joker. Don't look at me like that, Swiper. Like that's not going on.
I'm trying to understand the context. We're measuring them at their peak. Charles Barkley doesn't have a defensive peak as good as Joker. I mean, that's what the argument is.
For me to go back and look at Charles Barkley today.
Swiper, what peak though?
Just do the 23 playoffs. Just do it. Just start from there and say, does Barkley have a run like that? Just ask
for me to go back and look at Charles Barkley 35 years later isn't the same because it wouldn't be in real time.
You're just babbling. But I'm saying, chill. We have the NBA Finals games available to watch.
But but it's different today than it was when it's different today than it was 25 years ago.
What does that mean? What do you mean it's different? What do you mean it's different?
I'll tell you exactly what it means. You are not watching the game Kobe Bryant in 2007 like you're watching that game today. You're not.
I'm saying I'm watching it right now. I'm saying I'm watching it.
And don't say
I'm watching the game now, today.
Right. And you see the game different today than you did in 2007 when you were watching.
Is that a bad
so in 1991, when I was watching Charles Barkley, I see the game different today than I was in real time.
No, hold on. What does that mean? Why is that relevant?
What's going on now?
Why is that relevant, Chill? Why is that relevant? Why can I not watch Charles Barkley? Hold on. Why can I not watch Charles Barkley with the same eyes I'm watching Joker, the criticized Joker's defense? Why can I not watch the same games in the NBA Finals in 94 or 93 and watch Charles Barkley play defense and say, his defense was worse. Why can I not watch it and look at it and say he was a detriment to his team throughout the NBA Final Series? What's wrong with me looking at it and saying that?
What's wrong with that is that you see the game different today, because I was around during that time, so I see the game different back then than I see the game today.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing.
If your perspective of the game changes, what's wrong with then rewatching players from the past and revisiting your opinion?
Because when information changes, your opinion changes. Okay, I can get with that logic, no doubt about that. But my point is seeing Joker today in 2024, 20 years from now, when I go back and watch Joker, when I watch film on Joker, I may have a different opinion on him. 20 years from now, right? I might have a different opinion on him. But when I see him right now, and because all of you guys are watching him in real time, to see Joker today, there's a reason why y'all talking about him like you're talking about him, because it's in real time. Charles Barkley is another guy that I'm thinking about, like Olajuwon, like Karl Malone, these guys that if we had this access to these guys, would we be talking about them like we talk about Joker, like we talk about Giannis?
Chill, but isn't that actually a criticism of people who say things but yet haven't gone back to confirm what they've said based on a recollection that is shoddy as it is? Because if you're telling me, we've gotten to it about Moses Malone, but if I go back and watch Moses Malone and saying he was clearly a worse offensive player, and he also wasn't as good of a team defender as his reputation held in the 1980s, as it is, it should actually be talked about now. Well, that would be me saying that I'm more educated. I know more basketball now, and I can say, well, I obviously didn't understand what I was watching years ago or decades ago, and this player was actually worse or better. Like, my takeaway watching Jordan, from when I was a child to now is different. Jordan is even better than what I remember him being, because I watched Jordan play, and I'm saying he was so far better than everybody else on the court. He should have won MVP in 1998. He should have won MVP in 1994, because I'm watching him and saying he was even better than I remember. But if I'm looking at Charles Barkley and I'm saying, not only was Charles Barkley's reputation and you remember this, Charles Barkley's defensive reputation was in the dirt in the 90s. But I'm watching him now. His defense is even worse than his reputation, because he's lost off ball. He doesn't do anything on the secondary action. He doesn't guard the pick and roll well, and he doesn't give multiple efforts every single play to cover up for his own mistakes deficiency. So if I'm watching this, and I'm saying that the same thing you would criticize now, I don't know, Julius Randle for, he's not giving any effort. And I'm watching Charles Barkley in the NBA playoffs not give multiple efforts and selling out defensive possessions. That makes him a worse defender. Is that a fair criticism of Charles Barkley now?
I'm trying to figure out why we're having a Charles Barkley and Nikola Jokic defensive comparison conversation. They both suck.
Yeah, but I think that's also reductive, because then it's like, okay, well, if two players are good on something, do we just not compare them? Like, you can still be worse.
But I'm saying, like, if you're marginally worse,
yeah, but I think that's relevant, especially when, by all of you guys' admission, you guys also, other than Ron was trolling, but even you had Jokic above Barkley, I think. Like, when everyone here admitted that Jokic is better offensively than Barkley, I feel like the defensive discussion is relevant. Because if Jokic is better offensively, but you guys think Charles Barkley is better defensively, and Chill thinks Barkley is better than him, that would have to mean because of the defensive gap. Because if he thinks Jokic is better on offense, but he thinks Charles Barkley is better on defense, and he thinks Charles Barkley is better, why would I be discussing offense? Unless you're unless you're saying I should be discussing why the offensive gap is extremely large, which I could do. But like, it makes more sense for me to discuss the part of the ball that he actually thinks the guy is better on and say why I don't agree with that. That would make more sense. That's why we're having this conversation. I was going to do the same thing with Giannis and Barkley offense, because he thinks Charles Barkley is better offensively than Giannis. I was going to do the exact same thing. I wasn't going to have a Jokic and Barkley offensive discussion, because I think that goes without saying. But he thinks Charles Barkley is better offensively than Giannis, the same way he thinks Charles Barkley is better defensively than Jokic. I was going to do the same thing with Giannis and Barkley on offense. But I don't think we have time. We only have 25 minutes when we have Superchats. So I don't want to like derail everything more than I have. But that's why
I didn't expect to get back into this. I just wanted to get some clarity on why I said what I said. That's all.
Well, I apologize for derailing everything, but that's why.
Okay, just clarification. Why is because Giannis is a much better defensive player. What does Barkley do better offensively than Giannis? Post work.
I just thought that I thought he was a better transition player back then. I mean,
better transition player than Giannis.
As good as Giannis is today as a transition player, Charles Barkley was that in 1988.
Giannis has led the NBA in transition points, I think, each of the last 7 years.
Okay.
7.
And Charles Barkley from 1989 to 1993 as a transition player was awesome.
Was he better than David Robinson in transition?
With the basketball, yes.
Just overall in transition, was he better?
I think Giannis's most dangerous skill set is the fact that he's the best transition player in the
sport. I think Giannis is comfortably better, but I want to know if David Robinson was better than Barkley.
I think Barkley was a better transition player than David Robinson.
Okay. Like my issue is, like, we had the conversation, I want to say maybe a month ago. I know we remember it because they got clipped. We was discussing if Giannis was the best transition player ever. It was LeBron, Giannis, spoke a little bit about Magic Johnson.
Yes. Magic.
Charles Barkley's name.
And the reason why Charles Barkley's name didn't get brought up, because again, I'm not talking all time. I'm just talking about this specific stretch. Just like we have players who are better than other players in a specific stretch. That's it. I don't think Charles Barkley and Giannis are the same all time. I didn't say that. I'm talking about this stretch from 1980. I don't understand why this is difficult to understand. From 1989,
peak. That's what
it. That's all I'm talking about. That was
but no one's saying Giannis is the best transition player ever because in 2017 he was great in transition. It's because of what he's done in his peak. Like, that's not what
I'm saying. I'm saying what he's done overall in his career.
So you don't think Giannis? We're gonna move on because we're gonna keep talking in circles. Chill got Barkley. Y'all got Jokic and Giannis. Like, that just is what it is.
Is LeBron speaking? Is he not?
We're about to move on.
No, wait. I just wanted to hear. Is Charles Barkley a better transition player at his peak than LeBron was at his peak?
No.
Okay.
But Giannis is.
Okay. Yeah, we gotta move on. We go super chats.
All right. Before we get into super chats, I still want to talk about last night's games. Probably not gonna be able to make it through them all, but here we go. Just gonna talk about him. The New York Knicks beat the Utah Jazz by a score of 119-103. The Knicks, as we discussed earlier, have improved to 24-10. That's good for third in the East. Fourth best overall record in the league. Karl-Anthony Towns had 31 and 21 rebounds.
Mm-hmm. They've been getting because Jokic at 36 and 22, and then Giannis and then he has 31 and 21. Who they play next?
Knicks play Oklahoma City. The Knicks play Oklahoma City Friday.
No. Who's Utah play?
I think
we need to get on PrizePicks. Take the more, Ron, whatever that is. Points, rebounds, assists, demon time, way over.
All right, the Sacramento Kings pulled out a game in the stretch against the Philadelphia 76ers by a score of 113-107. The Kings are now 15-19. We'll see if they can continue to put things together. And the Philadelphia 76ers fall to 13-18.
We're not going to address the elephant in the room, Mars. Did you see the end of that game?
What, Paul George and Tyrese Maxey? The major elephants in the room.
They were up. They were.
Do you think PG got fouled on that last drive when the ball got he had it cuffed and then he tried to swing the ball over?
No, I think Paul George is just a bum. I also think Tyrese Maxey tried to split a blitz in a pick and roll and turn it over, which was stupid.
Yes, he did.
I think Paul George is just not very good offensively anymore, if I'm being honest.
208.
First year
contract, money.
Scary.
For the role that he should be, like, as far as I'm concerned, Paul George is a catch and shoot guy, one dribble pull up. In transition, he might get a layup. Like that's how I'm viewing him. Like, viewing him as anything more than that, like, I feel like you're just reaching at this point. The only time Paul George will have a good game offensively is if he's making jumpers. Like, it's not because like the process has changed. The process is terrible.
Chill.
No matter what he does, the process is bad.
My gosh.
It's gonna be try break someone down off the dribble. You get a step on them, you're gonna snatch it back for no reason, start dribbling again, snatch it back again, and then shoot a contested 18-foot. That's his game. Like, he's not doing it.
He's been doing this kind of washed version of himself since the first round, though. Like, this is what he was in the first round versus the Mavericks. If he just plays
he's been
better.
washed for like 2 seasons now, so it is what it is.
I mean, but he was okay in the regular season. No, this is yeah,
because last year he was making a high clip of his threes. Like, when he does that, he's fine. Like, Paul George is an elite shooter. I think he's gonna shoot better than he has this season. He's gonna be a better shooter. But in terms of his overall
This
process of the game, when
clearly it's not.
When Paul George has the ball in his hands, it's bad offense as far as I'm concerned. Like that's just how I view it right now.
He just looks
because again, remember who we're talking about. We're talking about Paul George, right? And we're not talking about the great Paul George. We're talking about Paul George. And don't forget, he's gonna be 35 when the playoffs start. So people talk about him today like he's still that dude. But if I say that, I'm hating.
All right, y'all. Well, Paul George did have 38 and 5 last night, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. So he had a good game. De'Aaron Fox had 35 points, 4 assists. He led the Kings, and as we discussed earlier, Domantas Sabonis.
Read that top comment on the Instagram account. By the way, it says, "Who's the person right underneath the NBA?" What does that say, Ron? Can you read that for me? I can't see it. From Noah Somo. What does that say?
He said, in the 90s, we had MJ. In the 2000s, we had Kobe. In the 2010s, we had LeBron. And in the 2020s, we have Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, chill. Yeah, chill.
All right, moving along. Tyler Hero led the Miami Heat to a win over the New Orleans Pelicans. Not surprising at all. The Heat advanced to 17-14, and the Pelicans are still at the bottom of the league.
Hey, Ron, I ain't trying to be nasty.
Record of 5-29.
I ain't trying to be nasty, but I'm telling you, Tyler Hero, I think he's gonna be 13 All-NBA this year. I'm just saying. I think he's gonna make 13 All-NBA this year.
I'm here.
That's all I'm saying.
I had a dude ask me today. Is Tyler Hero approaching the Steph Curry realm, where he could be like Steph Curry in the future?
What's that mean?
No.
What's that mean?
You know what he said that like. Though because Tyler, yeah, but the only reason why people were trying to even compare him to Steph is because Tyler Hero said that he's starting to he wants to take Steph Curry's shot selection. He's trying to mimic that.
He said he in the same conversation with Trae Young and Luka. He said that.
Who said that?
This dude right here with the Heat jersey on. He said that.
Wait, he said that he what?
He's in the same conversation with Luka and Trae Young. He said that.
I mean, he look. Had he been better than Trae Young this year? All right, let me stop. I'm just saying, maybe. I don't even like Tyler Hero. That's not even my type of player. But chill, 25, 5 and 5 on 50, 40, 90. Man,
he is balling though. He is balling, and he has been grossly underrated, and still is being grossly underrated.
Just
a couple weeks ago,
NBA team, he's eligible for like 320 next year.
Yes, he's eligible for the Supermax. Yeah, we went over that. Mm-hmm.
I'm not paying him that, but
well, shout out Tyler Hero. He had 32 points, 4 assists last night. Led the Heat to a win over the Pelicans. Scotty Barnes, where's Penn at when you need him? Scotty Barnes had 33 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 assists. The Toronto Raptors beat the Brooklyn Nets 130-113. The Raptors finally snapped their losing streak and get to 8 games on the season. They're 8.
Hey, shout out D'Angelo Russell, by the way. Looks like a different man.
He was open.
Yeah, and the Brooklyn Nets are 12-21. Next, Jordan Poole and the Washington Wizards splash the Chicago Bulls by a score of 125-107.
Splash. Hey, Ron, boom, 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 bing, splash. Hey, what? 5 straight games of 30 points in five threes? What's the record? 25 points in 5 threes? He's going crazy. Jordan Poole's going crazy. Is he getting traded this year? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
He's still making $30 million. That's a tough contract.
Yeah,
I mean, if he plays at this level, I think he's worth it. He's worth it for sure.
Well, shout out to Jordan Poole. He had 30 points, 3 steals, made 6 3-pointers. The next game I got for you guys is the Houston Rockets.
Don't count.
Beat up on the Dallas Mavericks 110-99.
Don't count.
The Rockets are now 22-11, and the Mavericks fall to 20-14.
Yeah, PJ
Alperen
Washington.
Sengun had 23 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 steals. Jalen Green, 22 points.
Damn, they took away one of his steals. Tough.
Yeah, and PJ Washington went down.
No men, no Tyrese.
Who? Anyway, no Luka Doncic. Kyrie didn't even play yesterday.
Kyrie did play.
No, he didn't. He didn't play yesterday.
No
Luka, no Kyrie. PJ goes down. Nah.
Quick question: because over the next all of January, the Mavericks have like the 6th toughest schedule. So how far do y'all think they drop?
They don't know. Kyrie holds them above water and gets in the MVP discussion. That's what.
Okay, well, is PJ? How long is PJ?
Do you believe that, Mars? Mars, do you really believe that?
Hold on, I'm about to.
No, he doesn't.
I'm wishing.
So you don't believe that? So that's wishful thinking.
If it happens, I'll say I told you so.
Mm-hmm. But you don't really believe that.
Who knows what I believe anyway.
Okay.
Swiper, to answer your question, it says PJ suffers a knee sprain. They haven't updated it, so he has a knee sprain. We don't know how long he's going to be out for.
That's important to me. That matters. That's a big loss if they don't have Luka and Kyrie's, trying to make it all happen.
Yeah.
If you look at Dallas, they got Cleveland coming up. Then they got Memphis, Los Angeles, Denver back to back. Then they got Oklahoma City. They got Minnesota, OKC again, Boston, New Orleans doesn't count. Cleveland, Philly, Boston, Houston. They have a tough stretch coming up. This is probably their toughest stretch of the year. So it's gonna get really bad before it gets better.
Wait, are those all
like the Warriors?
4 seeds? Is that all top 4 seeds I'm hearing?
From Friday to like February 21st, it's tough.
Say it again. What's their stretch?
Friday, January 3rd, Cleveland. January 6th, Memphis. January 7th, Los Angeles. January 9th, Portland. Then they got Denver back-to-back on the 12th and the 14th.
They do.
Then they have New Orleans on the 15th. OKC on the 17th. Charlotte on the 20th. Minnesota on the 22nd. Oklahoma City on the 23rd. And Boston on the 25th. Then you have Washington on the 27th. New Orleans on the 29th. Then you have Detroit on the 31st. You open up February going into Cleveland again. And then you have Philly on the 4th, Boston on the 6th, Houston on the 8th, Sacramento on the 10th, Golden State on the 12th, and Miami on the 13th.
If I'm not mistaken, Swiper, we saw the Golden State Warriors as the number 1 seed go from the number 1 seed to drop like the Titanic.
Yeah, 2 and 13.
We could this is the same Dallas team that right now currently I think they 5th in the West. Yeah. They 3 games out of missing the playoffs. 3 games.
Do you think they go 500, Chill?
No.
That's a tough stretch.
You guys better give Dallas the respect they deserve when they do.
No, if they do that, Dallas, I will come up here and I will eat crow. Yes, I will.
Yeah, they could. I think Dallas could win the West this year.
When they don't, I'm gonna say, damn, brotherhood.
I think they're good enough to do it too, Swiper. Yes. But that stretch right there, no Luka, PJ might be out of the lineup for a while. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be hard.
It's a tough ass.
But I will say, Chill, if Kyrie manages to get them to like 12-8 over that 20-game stretch,
we have different conversations.
I will sing his praises. I'll do
He's
it.
the most skilled player ever, man. You guys should be singing his praises already.
I'll be up here clapping for him. Yes,
why are people praying on the Mavs downfall? The Mavs are a great organization. It's some of their Luka fans, whatever, like Hanzo and all that. But like I like the Mavs. The Mavs are a really good team. They're well run, respectable. Nico Harrison does a great job. He's one of the best GMs in the league.
That was a first-class organization, Swiper. 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Shaw. And lastly,
took care of that issue. Go ahead.
Lastly, the Detroit Pistons beat the wounded Orlando Magic 105-96. The Pistons have upped their record to 15-18. We'll see if they can sneak into the playoffs. And the Orlando Magic are now 20-15. Cade Cunningham had him a pretty good game last night. A real Cade game. 19 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists. So that was the slate of games that we had last night. Now let's get to this slate of super chats that we got sitting right here in front of us.
Mars, if the Magic get healthy next year, you surprise contender team?
Assuming Paolo's first 5 games was a real step in the right direction of growth for him, I could see it. Yeah, if Paolo just was playing out of his mind for 5 games in terms of how he's playing,
well, and if they get like a 16th pick in the draft this year, when they get another quality rotation player.
And this draft is deep. Yeah, if they can get someone, I think they need like another advantage extender. So I don't know. I haven't got into like my draft bag yet. I'm waiting until like April, May time to really get into that. But like once I do, if they can get an advantage extender, like a 6'6" wing who can like continue with advantages and stuff.
And Seraph.
Respect Jet Howard, Anthony Black. Respect.
Jet Howard is not an advantage extender in any capacity.
I don't know. He's young. Let's give him some time.
Once again, this show is brought to you by PrizePicks, where you can run your game, control your game, and ultimately win your game. And you can get $50 in promo funds when you play just $5. But you must use promo code PANEL.
Ron, why are the dark skins in the back in that photo? I'm going to ask you that.
It's a good question.
where they belong.
I don't know. Yeah, that's crazy. But all right, y'all. Tyrone Flawless Wiggins sent through a member's chat. He said, "Best jacket taker offer is diabolical."
Russell Westbrook might be the best jacket taker offer. I'm not gonna lie. He got the best jackets. Shea maybe Shea too.
Yeah, I mean, we all saw the Skims commercial.
Yeah.
MP13 has been a member for 10 months. Y'all know MP. He said, "Did I hear Tatum rebounds better than Josh?"
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did hear that. I disagree, but yes, you did hear that.
Fresh Boy Swag said, "Why do yous think we are seeing a sort of down year from Book? Is this what we need to expect or just a rough patch?" Devin Booker. He said, "Mars, is he still the best two guard? Shout out Jaden Ivey."
He spoke about this yesterday.
From the field?
Yeah, we like. I don't know if you watched yesterday's show, but if you didn't, my theory, I guess, was I think Phoenix have made a conscious effort to get him and KD shooting more threes, and I think because obviously Phoenix's downfall the last few years, in my opinion, has been like their lack of 3-point volume and the lack of rim attempts. So I think Phoenix have tried to overcome that with trying to improve in both of those areas. So Devin Booker shooting more threes than he normally would, and I think it's somewhat keeping him out of rhythm, but also it's just like he's just ultimately changing his game entirely to how he's being told to play, and he's not playing Devin Booker style basketball. So like in previous years where like half of his shots are mid-range jumpers, we're now seeing that decline, where now I think he's taking maybe like 30% of his shots from mid-range, whereas before it was like 40-45%. So like that decrease in 3-point volume, and this is like the highest 3-point volume he's ever had, I think that's affecting his overall efficiency and his shot diet, which I don't think is necessarily good, which is why I keep saying the mid-range shot is a good shot for the people who should be shooting mid-range jumpers. And Devin Booker is one of them. He's one of the best mid-range players in the league. Taking him away from the mid-range in pursuit of higher volume threes, especially when he's taking so many off the bounce, like, that's just not a recipe for success.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
but in terms of skill set, yes, I think he's still the best two guard.
You can't take away a guy's best aspect of his game. That's probably the best aspect of his game. Sure,
for sure.
Yeah, I can get with that.
Maradi Tanzambi said, "Swiper, will Jokic be one of the best, if not the best mid-range shooter we've ever seen if he continues this ridiculous from two?" Or so he continues shooting this ridiculous from two.
He's shooting worse from the rim area, but he's shooting elite from mid-range area, like outside of the paint, or from the 6-10. But he's having a down year relative to what he usually is. His
worse than last year?
No, he was elite last
year. Because we thought because
at the rim, this is his worst season in terms of shooting.
Of his prime.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, his jump shot though, I think he has the second most valuable volume jump shot in the league right now currently. Which
in terms of points per shot.
Yeah, like I think it's like 1.27 or something like that. Like it's
last time I checked.
He's not gonna be the best mid-range shooter ever.
I mean, the big.
This is what I'm talking about. When I say this to you,
I'm saying
this is what I'm talking about, man. We
I think
literally just had this conversation. We in real time. That's how we talking about these guys.
No, chill. That's different.
He's not.
No, it's not. No, it's
we're
not.
sorting. We're not even agreeing with it.
Not.
We're saying it's Dirk.
Yeah,
we're saying it's Dirk.
He's not.
Yeah.
We're see that's the thing. We can hold this in context. You chill, you sir. Crazy.
Lowe's left butt cheek. Shout out to Lowe's right butt cheek too, but this super chat was from Lowe's left butt cheek. Lowe's left butt cheek said, "This Shea still doesn't touch Embiid or Luka last season."
Embiid, yes. No, he doesn't. He doesn't touch him. Luka, yes, he does. But
Shea is having a ridiculous
year.
Like he's better than he was last year, in my opinion. But like from a guard, the scoring
is what it is. Yeah, it's the scoring.
I think it's like 72% in the restricted area as a guard. That's phenomenal.
He's like the best driver. Shooting. He's like the best driver in the league, especially for a perimeter player. He's like one of the best mid-range players in the league. Like he's still excellent at getting to the line. He's an excellent free throw shooter. He's elite on catch and shoot threes this year. Like
we were worried about that earlier too. Like is this going to be good with Shea shooting the long ball?
Now the pull-up threes, but the catch and shoot, like. He's elite. So
I just don't want to hear
his stupid, and I call it stupid. His stupid late game 3-point shot making when the play is over. You made a good defensive possession. Everybody is covered. And then here comes Shea. He's got a foot and a half of space. She hadn't shot the ball well from three all game. And then you give him the ball, and you're up. I'm chilling. I'm talking about you're down 2. You get the ball back. You can go try to tie it up.
Mm-hmm.
Here comes Shea. Haven't shot well all game from 3, or it's been, whatever. And the game's over. Yeah, he's
1.42 points per possession on spot possessions for Shea.
I don't understand why I hear people saying stuff like Shea plays out of his mind. I think this is who he is in his peak. I feel like we've entered peak Shea years, and I think I'm going to get probably 4 more years of this. I think this is who he is.
Still ridiculous though, Chill.
I'm not going to ask.
I don't think he's playing out of his mind.
I'm not going to ask the question I want to ask because it will lead to a whole rabbit hole. I think he's a top 5 player in the league. That's what I say.
Mm-hmm.
Save it for Sunday.
What's the question?
We ain't got time.
We'll be back tomorrow. Motaz Musa said, Swiper, what's your thoughts on Chill and Ox saying Charles Barkley is a better player than Jokic and Giannis? It's a take I'd have expected from Jordan. Shaking my head.
We just had a 20.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think how Ron that was sent before we had the conversation. Ron just be doing
conversation about this.
Yeah.
Hey, what did New Jack City? What was Chris Rock's name on New Jack City?
Yo, I'm not addressing none of that, Swiper. Dirty 30 said, Ron, if you're not the type to partake in the hustle aspect of basketball, that's fine. But it's always get on the ground for loose balls.
Always.
Dirty 30 also said, Coach did hustle drills, so shit like this don't happen. 2 players stand under the basket, roll the ball out, run and dive for the ball. That's simple.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's very unfortunate, but I'm not looking past more than that.
Motaz Musa said, Chill has Shaq above Kobe all time. I get he your cousin, but don't be biased, Unc. Kobe clears and him having him out of your top 10 is crazy. What's your top 10 of all time?
Is that a different person or did he add a profile picture?
He must have added a profile picture.
Oh, okay.
Who's your top 10, Chill?
Next. We've been over this shit a million times.
James, Jordan, Jabbar, Chamberlain, Russell, Magic, Bird, Duncan, Elijah, one Diesel. Come on, man. I know that 10.
Times, man.
We need to Chill. We need to get you a mixtape, man, because we can put that on a roll. That could be track 3.
Ray B sent through the super chat. His profile picture is talk is cheap. He said, PrizePicks appreciates the donations y'all submit to them daily. L picks.
Hey, Giannis 3 dunks. If you guys don't take that, you know locked in. I don't know what to tell you. I'm a PRA. I'm pursuing those Giannis dunks every pick now.
James, Jordan, Jabbar. Where did it? James, Jordan, Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain.
No. James, Jordan, Jabbar, Chamberlain, Russell, Magic, Bird, Duncan, Elijah, one Diesel.
Put a beat behind that. Put the ether beat behind that. We can get it going. Chill. We can get it going. I'm telling you. Gonna make you some money. TikTok chill.
Kareem NYK 2001 said, Chill, does Kobe have a better run than 2011 Dirk, 03 Duncan, and 04 KG? Also, MDKBB?
Mars don't know basketball. I've now got an acronym.
Oh, that's heat. Chill, does Kobe have a better run than Dirk?
That 2001 playoff run, he was fantastic.
It was better than 11 Dirk?
Yeah, when so in 2001 they sweep Portland. In 2001, not only do they sweep Portland, and then they sweep Sacramento Kings. That closeout game, we went 48-16. He averaged 33 a game against the San Antonio Spurs, and what he did in the NBA Finals against Philly, man, that was pretty impressive.
Better than 03 Duncan.
And then Tim Duncan, and I think that's where it gets a little bit tricky because what Duncan did in 2003, that was.
I'll take him over Duncan, but I'm not taking him over 2011.
That was different.
2011 Western.
Why we keep talking about Dirk in 2011 like Dirk was awesome in the playoffs? He wasn't.
What are you talking about?
We don't have time. That's a crazy statement.
Yeah, tomorrow.
He wasn't.
Chill. Tomorrow.
He wasn't. No, I didn't say the playoffs. I meant to say in the finals. That's what I meant to say. I didn't mean the playoffs. I meant the finals. That's what I meant.
All right, well, still tomorrow, I'm assuming that will be addressed. So
sure,
y'all send through a super chat, or one of y'all bring it up. Nah, one of y'all got to send through a super chat so we can talk about it. But anyways, MP13 said, I think it's called quote unquote non-ball dominant heliocentrism. This which is a distinct Jokic style that's different from the typical LeBron and Luka systems.
Yeah,
I like that.
Steph will be classified in there too, right?
Yeah,
non-ball dominant heliocentrism
in a different way because he doesn't touch it as much as Jokic does, but everything revolves around similar to Jokic. So similarly but differently at the same time.
Superman Real said, chill. I think Bron and Russ didn't work because Bron wanted Russ to adapt to him 90 to 100%, but Jokic allowed it to be at least 60% adaptive cooperation.
I think it's more than that, to be honest with you. And the fact that Russ can have the ball and just be more Russ as opposed to with James. He had to play off of James as opposed to James playing off of him. Like he doesn't have to play off Joker. Joker plays off of him, and I think it works better.
Maradi Tanzambi said, El host, read my last super chat. Ron. I might get around to it. Duke did it. Simply just said one great word. Seattle.
Get the Sonics back. Give Seattle their team back. Stop playing, man. Give Seattle their team back.
Teddy Hart said, think Wemby will come for Dream's all-time record? Blocks? That's what he's getting at?
Actually, it's not Dream. Mutombo is the all-time shot block leader in NBA history.
I'm pretty sure it's Hakeem, but
I think Mutombo passed.
You might be right. I don't keep up with this stuff, but it's tough. Like, you gotta remember, these guys were having seasons averaging like 4 or 5 blocks. Like, it's tough. I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, Wemby had 3.6 last year, and he 4 this year.
Just so you know, Ron, for 10 years, Olajuwon averaged 3.5 blocks. He did that for 10 years.
I think Wemby could do that though.
Yeah, he did that for 10 years.
Yeah, my theory of his blocks going down as he like becomes more disciplined on defense. Yes. He might be an exception to that theory.
I think Wemby goes.
He just be blocking shots. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I mean they be right in front of him. He just.
Well, the teams still like the amount of stupid shots I see people go up around him, like they think they're gonna get it over him and they just don't. So like I think that will like stop it more. But the rim to Tyrants is gonna be like ridiculous. Like teams don't even want to go near the paint with him down there.
Kareem NYK 2001 said Swiper 24 Jokic, 2000 Shaq, or 74 Kareem. Swiper's not here, so John D, I'm gonna ask you.
We're gonna go.
Start
2000 Shaq's 2000 Shaq, 24 Jokic, 74 Kareem.
Oh, okay. All right.
Preach.
Teddy Hart. That's insane, John.
Didn't they win 60 games that year in 74 with Jabbar? Something like that. They got bounced in round 1 too.
No, 74. They lost to the Celtics in the finals, no?
73, they got bounced in round 1. I'm sorry. They won 60 games that year. 74, they lost in 7 games to the Celtics.
I'm sure was there, but look who remembers.
Yo, Teddy Hart said, is DeMontis better than his dad in his prime?
No.
From my limited sample, I don't think so.
No.
I also haven't seen much of Avi to tell you.
No, he isn't.
Neither have I.
Player's Choice says, shout out to everyone watching on Twitter/X. Appreciate y'all. Get over to YouTube. Make sure you like the video. Also subscribe and become a member as well. SimWest34 said, can you give me 5 MVP moments/games of the MVP's top 3?
Who are the top 3?
Giannis, Jokic, and Shea, I think.
It's been a short season, so like,
damn, you put someone on the spot. I can't even remember one. What the hell?
SGA's performance against Dallas in the NBA Cup.
That was a great game. Also, what SGA's done in the last 2 games is like MVP.
And then what Giannis did to SGA in the in-season tournament championship.
I don't know if I count.
He had better games than that though.
In that block, I forget.
He had like 56 against the Pistons or something.
Yes, he's had better games this season.
That block, I forget.
Giannis had some moments for sure. They've all had some moments, but it's hard to think of them off the top.
Jokic had a crazy ass triple, well, a couple crazy triple doubles.
Not moved.
Jokic just really all season.
His performance against OKC when they beat them without, I think it was somebody, but I forgot.
I'm really not moved.
Cultured Bandit said, shout out to peach rings and strawberry puffs. Dub eats.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely Dub eats with peach rings. Apple rings too. Apple rings go crazy.
But
Apple rings do go crazy. Love them.
Sam Riv said, if the Knicks stay top 3, is OG a DPOY candidate?
There is no candidates. It's Wemby. There is no candidates.
Yeah, I don't think there's
no candidates.
I think it's interesting that there's no candidates, even though Evan Mobley this season, the numero uno defensive player when being guarded, nobody shoots a lower field goal percentage against anybody than him. Nobody in the league. I just want to put that out there.
That's great.
Numero uno.
Amazing. Pretty sure I saw LeBron was at top 5 in that stat. So.
Motaz Musa said, swap Cade for Pritchard. Detroit, do better.
Y'all be spending money to say stuff like that. Y'all be sending money to say stuff like this.
Just saying, what are we doing?
You running 5.7 said Cat over Giannis in the MVP race / Giannis being 4th is nasty.
That is.
Wait, they have Cat third?
That's wild.
I think so, yeah.
That is wild.
Shout out to Cat.
Flexed Up said Josh Hart is the Draymond Green of the Knicks.
No.
I get what he's getting at, but I don't agree. But I get what he's getting at.
Nope.
Last but not least, shout out to Multi Kenny, a Hall of Famer. Kenny said John D, Mars, and Swiper should be real talk here, or is he saying should real talk be here?
No, he's saying like this should be good.
Oh, this should be real talk here.
With no
okay.
If you would have read that when he first brought it in, Mars. I mean, when he first brought it in, Ron. If you would have read that then, it would have made more sense to you because he probably sent it when the show started.
Yeah,
but should real talk be here?
Her and Swiper in there is crazy, by the way. But this is what it is. Whatever, I guess.
All right, y'all. Well, we'll catch you again tomorrow. You know what crew's gonna be here. You know what unit's gonna be here. You know how we come in. We'll just talk about some good things tomorrow. Y'all will see when you get here. Y'all will see the title of the show. All right, y'all.
Later.
Peace.